Wake up, gamers, because you're listening to Big Think Dimensions, starring Dan and Bob Video Games. Bob, you have to go fast.
But I'm playing Sonic 1.
KZ Excellent.
Pop, peanut butter, butter pop.
And Mr. Feel
Call me Ishmael.
here on Gigaboots.
Bark, bark.
Mr. Ishmael's Wild Ride.
It's just getting killed by the whale.
That was pretty wild.
But you're drawn in that, like, technical difficulty sign from the critic art style, and you're just shrugging. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Big Think Dimension number 176. Live again. People were like, was that a Summer of Gaming thing? No, that is a real thing.
It cannot be killed by the Summer of Gaming.
we can.
Yes, we can.
We're close. Man. We played a lot. Not compared to Bob's Steam Next Fest,
No.
but you know, that can't be the bar. Feel comes in 1 week. I played 30 games. Bob's like, wow, that's 2 more than me.
They're all from Idea Factory somehow.
That saves us time because they have all the exact same mechanics.
I know. Feel, what did you do over the weekend? I went on a field trip to visit a warehouse. Wow, can you tell us about every cardboard box you saw?
They were all damaged.
Well, see, this one was a rectangular cube, right? And it seemed pretty sturdy. And this one was a rectangular cube, but it was pretty dirty. And I'm like, is he going to rhyme all of them?
Mr. Field, can you tell us about the B-roll film festival you went to, where they do nothing but show B-roll?
Well, it was pretty great. It was a lot like watching a Company Man video, except for no one was talking.
I hate story blocks just for the company, man.
I love it. I actually genuinely love story blocks. If we ever do an ad spot at some point to be like, we love story blocks, I'm being genuine. That entire Rahab bumper is due to story blocks.
Oh, God, you're right.
Yeah, that's so good. It's so good. We did play video games, though.
Whoa.
Nice.
We did that. We played A and B routes for Claire and Leon on Resident Evil 2 Make.
What a mistake.
I saw that and I saw the train going. I'm like, this seems like a fucking terrible idea.
Oh, it's fantastic. I now have comprehensive knowledge and never need to touch like that game at large again, except for Fourth Survivor.
Yes.
That I need to do at some point, of course.
I thought it would be, we both thought it would be more like the original one where that meant something.
Yeah, A and B were a lot more different in the original and interesting.
Mm-hmm.
In this, it really is just play the first route as both characters. You're good. You don't need all 4 playthroughs. You're fine, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do 1A, 1B, and you're good.
Yeah, which is weird. It's very strange to me. I love Resident Evil 2 a lot. Resident Evil 2 Make was really good. When it came out, it was absolutely flooring because, you know, we had just gone through horror games are dead. Horror games are only made by indies. Resident Evil 7 is sort of a horror game inspired by indies in American cinema.
Uh-huh.
And then now we get, here's your third-person shooter style Resident Evil again, just like Resident Evil 4 controls, basically. Here it is. It feels good. It feels great. Fantastic. And that was a really important moment for, like, is Capcom back?
Yeah.
And the answer was yes. Playing through that again, I know why I probably won't replay that game a ton, except for on that one stream.
Mm-hmm. We did replay it a ton on one stream.
We totally did. I really enjoy Resident Evil 3 Make. I'm looking forward to my next playthrough of that and playing the original at some point. Because I rented 3 original back in the day, and I wasn't exactly, like, I didn't, you know, compared to 2, I wasn't thrilled over various elements of it. Because the jump from 1 to 2 was so huge. I expected 2 to 3 to be, like, more radical.
Yeah, I know I rented 3 and was pretty disappointed as well, like, totally separately.
Yeah. So Someday I'm going to get back to that. I'm going to beat that, see how I feel about that. I think it's great that the PS5 back compat stuff for the PS1, that sound shouldn't be on, has the Resident Evil 1 director's cut, but without the goofy music.
Yes.
That's pretty good. But yeah, I don't really have much else to say about Resident Evil 2 Make. I enjoy it. Bob, did you have comments you wanted to cover?
Yeah, it's really cool. It looks amazing. That second fight with Birkin is awful.
Oh, the one where it's like, you have a shipping container. It is the only way to hurt him. It feels like, it genuinely feels like I'm trying to get between periods back in high school. And Birkin's just in the fucking hall and he's huge. And he's like, oh, excuse me. And I'm like, God damn it, man. Fucking move.
The main difficulty of this fight is we made the room small.
I learned recently that the shipping container does a set amount of damage, so if you hit him enough, you can just take him out in one.
Yes.
Oh,
that is true.
And there's like a trophy and stuff for it, where I just decided for fun to pull out the infinite rocket launcher and just pelted him with like 3.
Yeah, that's the good shit. Infinite rocket launcher makes replays very funny.
Yeah.
Yep.
On the original Resident Evil 2, I had a Game Shark. So I could push L1 and triangle, and whatever weapon I was holding would change into the infinite grenade launcher.
Very cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed Resident Evil 2 Make. Loved going back to it. Ray tracing fixes the screen space reflections in that game a lot, but it makes it run so bad on both the Series X and the PS5 that the main lobby can't remotely get to 60.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really bad, like 40s and below.
And yeah, when you pause the game during certain areas or you use the chest during certain areas, it'll just cause weird amounts of noise all over the screen because they're doing transparency on really low resolution ray tracing, and it just is sizzling. It's really weird looking. Still, I think it's neat that they put that in there. Maybe next gen, like it'll run at 60. You know, we'll see the same thing we saw this gen.
Right. It's always good for them to put these modes in, as we talked about, of like forward-looking modes.
Right. And that's important. I heard the PC version got updated with the features from this update, and enough people complained because it broke mods and it made it perform worse because it added 3D audio and ray tracing and other things. That they were like, we gave you the old version back now. Sorry. And I'm like, hey, they did it right.
Yeah, they did that quickly too. I think that was in the first day.
Yeah, no, they did that super fast. They were like, this is how you get the old version back. I'm like, oh, that's cool. You all can't see it right now, but because Pat Stares at rated us earlier this week, he's Stream Boss. Let it be known.
Let the word be known.
Short King.
But yeah, aside from that, I don't really have anything else to say other than I played mostly the 1X version when we got it. So it was a fresh set of trophies. There is another game I didn't write down in my notes that I didn't bring up with you, Bob, that I, of course, have to talk about here.
Oh, yeah?
Ape Escape.
Oh, of course.
I got that second platinum in 3 hours.
He sure did.
Jeez.
It was really fun, too, because this time it's for whatever. So whenever I get booped on the nose by an enemy and drop off a fucking cliff, I'm like, rewind? I'm not rerunning like 4 minutes of this level to do that.
You should probably explain how you got a second platinum out of this.
What? That just makes perfect sense. Do you all not keep track of this shit? Okay. The PS1 games on the PS5 have PS5 versions and PS4 versions, and they are separate trophy lists because somehow Sony fucked up the transition to the PS5 even more than the transition from the PS3 to the PS4. So they're two separate trophy lists. So you just boot the game and do it again. Ape Escape's a really fun game. I was glad to have an opportunity to play it yet again in the last week. Somebody in the Discord thought I was kidding when I was like, yeah, I should play that game again. And they're like, Dan, you just streamed that 2 days ago. I'm like, did I stutter?
That wasn't enough.
No, it wasn't. It's really weird that the platinum doesn't require you to get to the real final boss.
Right?
That real final boss is really good. That's a really epic fight. If you saw Ape Escape Roll last year, that was actually my first time seeing that boss and playing that boss. And that was awesome. Like, that was really cool. I really appreciate that the later Ape Escape games try harder on boss design.
Yes, they definitely do that immediately. Of like reintroduce other apes that are like more sentient, like Spectre.
Yeah.
The Freaky Monkey 5.
Exactly. Instead of, what was it? Well, this is a giant knight. How do I hurt him? Step to the right and hit him? I'm like, okay, I did that. Do that 8 times.
Here's a car.
Okay, that's the funniest shit in the world, and I told Bob Hollywood movies should do that, where it's just like your main character's a kid and their childhood rival, who is also a child, gets in an automobile and crashes it into the wall repeatedly trying to kill him.
That feels like something that almost must be in some 90s movie.
You would think? I
feel like there's some direct-to-video sequel to the Little Rascals remake from the 90s, where they have to dodge the rich kid who just has a monster truck for no reason.
Main character's like, oh no, as he gets run over by a car. Opening my drink.
Oh, okay.
I forgot to open it before we went live. I'm sorry, this isn't marketing.
Okay, fair.
I just happen to love the crisp and refreshing taste of Arnold Palmer when I can't find a peace tea.
At least it's not the Circle K Arnold Palmer that's just more expensive for no reason.
Yeah, you fucking see that? The can's different. It has a red stripe at the top. It's the same fucking drink. I confirmed it. Just to be fucking clear. I was like, it's 50 cents more. I think, yeah, it's fucking $1.50 instead of $1. It's like,
speaking of mocktails, this week was the first time I ever had a Roy Rogers and a Shirley Temple.
Okay.
You shouldn't drink those.
Just blanket statement.
I'm sure they're great if you're a child, but imagine just like, no, add a tablespoon of simple syrup to Coke.
Yeah. Because it wasn't sweet enough.
It might work. It worked more with the second one where I'm like, I'm just also going to put in lemon juice.
Yeah.
I actually did that with the Shirley Temple. That's if you don't know, a Roy Rogers is Coca-Cola and grenadine, and a Shirley Temple is Sprite, or less commonly ginger ale and grenadine. I'm pretty sure the Shirley Temple is just what Cheerwine is going for.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Because as I keep saying, it's not like a normal cherry Coke. But I could sign up for it as a cherry. It is a normal Coke with grenadine. Like, absolutely.
It'll be a Sprite with grenadine.
Right. Bob and
I figured that out because I also added lemon juice to the Shirley Temple. And I'm like, this tastes like the Cheerwine I put lemon in. Exactly.
Yes. Bob and I we're taking that trip to scope out the new Gigaboots HQ. And they have a fucking eatery there that has Cheerwine on a tap. This sounds like a joke. Like, we chose the city based on that, but I did not find out until 3 weeks ago. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I'd only heard about it in Legends.
Every time we ever saw that shit online, it was always like, come up to North Carolina? We're like, no. But thanks. So we'll get to try that out over the weekend. If I die from diabetes, let it be unambiguous.
This is your warning.
Yeah. That is absolutely. I'm going to be red-handed because I drank so much it turned me red. I'll be like, well, obviously,
dipping your hand in it.
Yep. It's the syrup. It's not even.
No.
It's not even the soda. I'm just dipping my hand in it. It's so cheery. But yeah, anyway, Ape Escape. Really enjoy that game. That was like my favorite 5th gen platformer that wasn't Mario 64. I do agree with the later game's decisions of, hey, your weapon is a lightsaber. Hitting the stick in a direction means you'll hit in that direction. You know, articulating that very exactly, very hard. Maybe. Just maybe we should have him swing it laterally at all So that way it's not, I missed the monkey by an inch.
Yeah, no, going to 2 and having the horizontal swing for your net is so much better.
Oh, yeah. We need to start a petition to bitch out Sony until they fix the PS5 version of 2. Because it was bad enough. It was bad enough that it's broken. And it's bad enough that it's 50 hertz. And it's bad enough that it's British.
Uh-huh.
But now it doesn't look right. Like, it can't run it all on the PS5.
I mean, they're getting the idea about some things. They're putting all those NTSC versions of games up on other places, like in Europe and in Asia, for PS1 games. Mm-hmm. There's signs of them understanding we should fix this. Nobody wants to play a 50 hertz game.
Yeah.
I hope they also fix the fucked up PS2 games that are still broken.
And also the Senran and Kagura games that are broken, please.
Are those still broken?
As far as I know. We haven't gone back and checked, but, you know. Math in chat is saying, I can't even buy Ape Escape 2. It's subscription only. What? That thing was purchasable on PS4.
What? Yeah.
There's no way. There's no way. Someone else in chat checked that. That's insane. What? Whoa. Anyway. But yeah, love Ape Escape. Soundtrack's iconic. It's a shame Ape Escape 2 does not have the same composer. All Beating One made me want to do is do another Ape Escape month. I'm not even kidding. I'm like, I want to play all the mini games again. I want to fucking do the RPG.
Yeah, play the move game again.
Play 2 and 3. Play the move game again and see if our lights or the distance we had or the USB extension cable we used is why it felt so much shittier than it did originally when we tried it, like when it came out. Is Ape Quest any good? I think it's pretty neat. I think it's neat. As the exact tier.
Yeah, I really want to play 3 again because I had all the transformations. And that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, 2 and 3 are really good in multiple different ways. I think 3 is the best one, but it runs like shit.
It really does.
Multiple people in chat confirming Ape Escape 2 has no buy button.
It does on net. Maybe it doesn't on PS5, but you can just buy it on the web store. I'm looking at it right now.
And other people are saying it's buyable for them. So maybe it's region based. We don't know what regions people are in.
Oh, I didn't consider that. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it looks like you need to not look at it through the subscription section of Plus, and that may affect it. Okay. Having talked about Ape Escape, let's move on to the next thing on our list right here. Let's just see, what video games did we play? I played Solitaire.
Oh, really?
What?
This is the conclusion of the Dan Solitaire arc. I may have told this on last week's Big Think. I think I just brought it up on an earlier stream. So let me explain. I installed Solitaire on my phone. The reason why is I've been having some severe trouble sleeping and keeping a regular sleep schedule. The thought was Solitaire is the most boring fucking game in the world. So I will play it and go to sleep. Here's the problem. This worked for 1, maybe 3 days.
Oh, no.
And then I realized, okay, so this version of Solitaire, it's optimized where, like, if you just poke the card, it will play it into the only possible slot for you. So you don't have to click and drag. Wait, we're not there yet. It gets worse. When you complete a game of Solitaire, it will tell you, hey, good job. This is your 3rd best run. Good job. This is your 6th best run. What? And it'll tell you how many moves you did, how long it took, and what your score was because of that. And so they took something that was supposed to be the most boring game, and they made it into a really fucked up race to be the fastest at Solitaire. So currently, my best play is like 2 minutes and 20 seconds, which is not easy because Solitaire is completely random. Like, all the cards are random, and you can play yourself into unwinnable states really easily. So it ends up being me looking at a field of cards and going, oh, this is a bad draw. It's just starting again. And then me doing, like, Solitaire, you think of like, oh, okay, let me, and then this can go. And no, it becomes, I know these can be played, so I'm just tapping them as fast as I can. So this
you need
is
to find a new game to go to sleep to, I hear.
I do. Does anyone know a game as boring as Solitaire?
Minesweeper?
They have to have a phone version of the Minesweeper. Also, something I didn't bring up. This version of Solitaire is Apple Arcade.
Good.
Now,
Good.
Dan, what Apple Arcade, what could they possibly offer that justifies that? When I win right, okay, when I win correctly, I get to see poker cards do the Gangnam Style dance.
Ooh.
They just like,
That's good.
yeah.
Did they do the Macarena as well?
Yes.
Okay. It'd be weird if they didn't at that point.
So there you go. Sometimes it does that. Most of the times it gives you nothing. And I sit there going, why didn't I get a dance? Where's my dance? I beat you, you fucking piece of shit. Give me my dance. But that's it. That's it for Solitaire. The Solitaire arc is done. Banished. Goodbye. I played Sonic Origins. Did anyone else play Sonic Origins?
No.
No.
I played exclusively Sonic 1 on Sonic Origins.
I'm sorry.
Cool.
Sonic 1 is like designed for you to not go fast. Also bad. Yes, if you want to jump to the Sonic 1 is bad.
There's no
it's
reason
closer
to mince
to
words here.
yeah, it's closer to Alex Kidd than a real Sonic game, for fucking say, like serious. Anyway, they put a spin dash in it and the drop dash. So Sonic 1 with the spin dash just neuters the difficulty of several different moments. Where it's like you're in the final zone, scrap brain. You need to move carefully through these slow-moving pendulum things so that way you don't get crushed. Or I could just spin dash left, wait a second, and spin dash right. You're underwater. This level sucks. You're in hell. You're going to move very, very slowly. Or you can spin dash. Yeah, it's fucking weird. As for Sonic Origins itself, I don't like the audio on PS5. I don't know what's up with it. It sounds filtered and wrong in a very weird way. It's just, as someone who's played a decent amount of Sonic on Misters and other emulation packages, this audio still does not sound right.
That's unfortunate.
But it sounds good enough that most people won't notice, I don't think. Most people probably won't notice until I pointed it out just now. I didn't play Sonic 2 or Sonic 3 or Sonic and Knuckles or Sonic CD because we're planning all of that for tomorrow, where we're going to play through 2 all the way to 3 Knuckles, because for the love of God, no one wants to see me play Sonic 1.
We can play those cutscenes though.
Yeah, we could play the cutscenes for Sonic 1. It feels like,
I want to see that.
But I won't be able to because I'll be on a plane. So
that's true. Well, if it makes you happy, because we technically aren't doing it a part of the stream tomorrow, we still have to keep that as a part of Sonic Month, sadly.
For just Sonic 1 and then we move on to something else.
Yeah. Here's our great stream of Sonic 1 and Sonic and the Secret Rings.
Oh no!
Oh, this is not how this was supposed to go. No, we do Sonic 1 and then Sonic 06. Because, Sonic 06 really needed like 2 more hours added onto it.
Yeah, absolutely. It wasn't long enough. That was the main problem.
Yeah, because we thought it would be cool to take those classic streams out of Sonic Month, celebrate it now, get Sonic Origins covered in a timely manner, and then free up some space during Sonic Month, because we finalized the list of games for every month. For people who haven't seen that, I'm going to retweet it and post it again. Every single month that gets voted on in this grand tournament thing, we have all the games selected, which took us an insane amount of time, and we had to make some really hard decisions. Like, Majora's Mask isn't in Zelda month, and that was not easy. But it's really important to beat Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, Wind Waker, and a bunch of others.
Mm-hmm.
Bob's never played any of the Oracle games. He's never beaten them.
I beat Ages. I owned that.
You beat Ages, but you didn't beat Seasons.
No, I never played it, because why would I own both? It's like buying the other Pokemon game. You just don't do that.
But see, that's the thing. Bob didn't realize it is a completely different game.
Right?
But also,
I never knew that.
I can't have Bob just jump into Seasons, because here's what he'll do. And I say this as someone who grew up with Oracle Seasons. Here's what he'll do. He'll play Seasons, and he goes, well, I guess Ages was just bad. It's like, no. Ages is great. Seasons is them having like homeopathic Zelda still in the water supply, and they're like, here's your drink. So we're to do those two, and then the real ending.
And neither of us have ever played Minish Cap.
Yeah, neither of us have ever played Minish Cap, so we had to do that. Because once again, like, that's important. We've never played any of that. But anyway, that was not easy. Sonic Origins is weird. It's just weird. It's so weird.
You can move your camera around the island.
I'm gonna spoil the thing I forgot to put in news, but I was gonna cover during news. The main menu island thing is running on the Hedgehog engine, so they accidentally left in a shitload of files for Sonic Frontiers. So we know a lot of things about Sonic Frontiers now that we didn't before Sonic Origins launched.
They're very smart.
This might be the dumbest one yet.
And mild spoilers, I'm just going to say one thing. I'm not going to detail all the things that leaked, okay? Here's the one string that made the most impact. Big the cat fishing.
Oh, thank God.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Okay, that game's saved.
So, who knows? Who knows what that could be? It could be anything. It could even be cut before launch.
Whoa.
That would be
The game's
terrible.
stolen.
That's all I'm going to say about Sonic Origins. I'm looking forward to playing more of that tomorrow. I love Sonic. I really do. Sonic the Hedgehog 1 is bad, but I by and large really like Sonic. In fact, I think I value every Game Gear one except for Blast more than Sonic 1. Because, man, Blast is terrible. That game does not run right at all. Its collision is bad. It's one of the only Sonic games where you can try to do the cool loop and you'll just immediately stop because the collision won't hit right for you hitting the lower right one. But yeah. Next. We'll talk about Pokemon Days real quick before we talk about something that I think everyone here has played. So we're in 4th gen. I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh, that second gen was kind of intense. You know, they upped the difficulty. We go to the underground Pokemon, or sorry, the Grand Underground.
Okay.
We go to the Grand
totally
Underground, and the Underground has Pokemon that are like 6, 7 levels above our team, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be difficult. And then somewhere in the middle of this week's Pokemon Days, they stopped raising the levels for any gyms or anything.
Yeah.
And then we just go, okay, what do we do now? And Cynthia's like, hey, can you take this package to my mom? You have to walk across this forest. Bye. And I'm like, okay. And her grandma's like, hey, how's it going? You should go beat up a gym. And I'm like, okay, grandma, thanks. And then we beat up that gym, and it's like, oh, there's another gym over here. And it just feels weird. In 3rd gen, they motivate you going to the different areas a lot better, I feel.
I liked when the rival showed up and is like, I still have evolution 1 of my starter Pokemon. I don't know what's happening. I'm lost in this mall.
That seems cruel.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. They buffed Wally, you know? So that just, in a modern context, when you don't buff Barry.
Yeah.
Or the other guy, which I don't know the name of male pro tag.
Lucas is just so sad.
He's pitiful. He's so pitiful. But yeah, we started calling Barry. We named him on our playthrough of 4th gen Wally Minor, because it's like Ursa Major and Ursa Minor. He's just the lesser Wally.
God.
They also took out him freaking out dance.
Yeah, his manic dance is him. His whole theme song is based on the fact he's supposed to be doing that. And instead, in this version, he's like, ha.
I took my medication. Now
Yeah,
I have
he's-
no reason to exist.
Yeah, before he was like manic and like jumping all over the place. Now he's just Napoleon Dynamite staring at us.
Yeah, I don't need that.
We're like, what? You got any chicken tenders? And we're like,
He's giving you the fluoride stare.
yes. It's really unfortunate. Someday, I feel like on Pokemon Days, we'll end up back at Platinum.
I'm very excited to try Platinum. I've never done that, and I hear it's way better than the original.
They have story content for Cynthia.
Whoa.
Wow. Honestly, she's in the story enough. It's just that the story's bad. Or she's like, hey, what's up? I was going to go to that lake, but they closed it off. Anyway, here's medicine for these Psyducks. Go give it to them. And you're like, all right.
Team Galactic is...
That's nowhere near here, ma'am. Why are you asking me to do And then you give it to the
So,
side ducks, and she shows up, and she's like, "Hi, you want to see my grandma?" And I'm like, "No, what is?"
Are
what
the
is
Gen
happening?
4 remakes not actually platinum? Are they some
No.
weird homunculus
No.
that they
No,
came
they're
up
not.
with?
They're literally a copy paste of pearl or diamond, depending.
That's really insane. Why'd they do that?
Because they cared that little.
Yeah, they're
Yes.
it's that much of a just offensively bad thing.
I assumed the remakes had that shit because people were like, "No, this NPC wasn't in the original. It must be platinum stuff." But then it's just wasn't.
Yeah, there's like platinum stuff, but it doesn't have like there's no Giratina like story thing or
That's
Eh, eh,
come on.
or any of the
Yeah.
extra stuff. They like changed up all the teams and their items and stuff, especially in late game where they actually do try to make it definitely harder than the original, but
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
the core game is still the same.
It's really depressing anytime on Pokemon Days we go, "Wow, this seems weird. I wish they would improve this." And someone does. Fun fact, they did. I have to go, no!
Yeah, when I did the Nuzlocke of this where PM played it, and I looked at the teams of the Elite Four on the original Diamond versus this, and I'm like, that dude had one fire Pokemon.
Yep.
And the worst moves ever, where they're like, here's this Pokemon, it has 3 moves.
Yeah,
Doesn't
so
even have 4.
we are giving this Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl the biggest buff in the world, and that buff is I don't have to use my 3DS capture card.
Uh-huh.
And still, it has enough shortcomings where I'm just like, maybe nothing would have been better. Like Legends Arceus seems like a much better way to celebrate 4th gen.
Yeah, absolutely. If this didn't exist,
Then
then
it
would
would
be a
leave
more
this-
positive story.
Right, because it would leave the possibility of getting a good version of this at some point.
Yeah. Instead, we have literally the worst version they could make. Like, it has the worst looking art of any Pokemon game.
Oh yeah, they do this thing where when you get into a battle, every trainer you run into gets marionetted into the pose from the original 2D art, and it only looked good once ever.
Yeah.
It looks terrible every other time. It just doesn't look right at all. They completely fail at doing it. It's so rough. So yeah, it's a little disheartening, but hey, I don't have to use a 3DS capture card for one Pokemon playthrough, so that's neat.
Only one. Well,
Yep.
until we finally get to the Switch games.
Yes, until all the way at the end when we get to the Switch games. It's unfortunate. You know what's not unfortunate though? TMNT Shredder's Revenge. That's pretty great.
Yeah, that game's good.
Definitely.
Yeah, that game's fantastic.
It sounded like you're leading to the pod lord, just like, damn, this is really early. What are you doing?
Let's talk about
My micro fascination of the week is Pod Lords. That's all I want to talk about. Anyways. Yeah, TMNT, Shredder's Revenge. Really fucking good. Absolutely stellar. As somebody who is a huge fan of all those games growing up and a fan of the Turtles, relatively. I say relatively because, of course, I didn't have any of the toys. I owned all the games, but I didn't have, like, the third movie on VHS. There is a cutoff point. There is a threshold.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That game has fantastic fan service all throughout. It's got really great animations. I love the levels. Here are my quibbles with it. Apparently, if you and an ally are facing the same enemy and hit attack at the same time, you will do a completely different type of attack that will just have you flying towards the enemy and hitting each other, like bashing your shells, like they did in the movie, which is a very good and
Yeah.
fun reference.
Yeah.
But it's not optimal because they didn't make it strong enough. So I'm kind of just sitting here like, I wish you would stop. I wish that was a separate button. I wish you would stop.
No,
Aside
damn, we're out of buttons. I'm sorry. They can't find the buttons on the DualShock.
Well, I was thinking about it. I was like, maybe it's because it's also on the Switch. You're using a Joy-Con.
Oh, like a single Joy-Con?
A single
No one should
Joy-Con.
accommodate that.
But Bob, I need 7 players. How else am I going to get all 7?
It's
Aside
6,
from,
by the way.
is it 6? Okay,
Yeah, it's 6, but the roster is 7.
that's
That makes sense because you don't get the final character until you beat the game.
right.
Yeah.
Aside from that, my only other problem, and I'm not going to talk about it too much. I felt the ending was weak, and I think there are better boss fights earlier in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I thought it was cool conceptually.
It,
so I
it's
was pretty
cool, but
all right with it.
but it was kind of me doing the exact same thing over and over because
yeah,
that's kind of all you can do.
yeah, the first half of the fight is really great as you're fighting this thing. And then the second half of the fight while you're fighting other thing is not as exciting as it could be because of their moveset, and the context of the last time you fought them was way cooler. Yes.
I streamed through the whole game with a crew of like 4 people, and the entire time my friend Alto kept saying, "Yeah, I can't wait to hear this thing from these people." And every time I'm like, what a stupid joke to make. And then when it happened, I almost lost my fucking mind.
I'm really glad I didn't have that thrown in my head because that was outside of the realm of possibilities for me.
Right.
I thought it was a random shit post. And when I started hearing it, I was like, wait a minute. What?
Yeah. No, that was an incredible fucking moment. There's so much love for the turtles in this, and they executed on it so well. Only other quibble before I just talk about all the characters and stuff like that. The ending should be better. There's only one good ending, in my opinion. And having to play through the entire last level, which is, you know, the kind of mediocre one, over and over to get a different ending for 7 different characters because it can't give player 1 and player 2 the requisite endings.
Right, even though they're completely stitched separate endings, like they could fit in any of these.
Easily. They're self-included, right?
Like a single screen, basically.
Yes. But they couldn't show me player 1's ending and then player 2. So I had to run it 7 times to get every ending. And then it was like, well, Donatello's is the best. So
Also, player 2 does not get trophies, which is just weird and bad.
I still think that's Sony's fault.
That's terrible.
Sony probably screwed that up at an API level because so many video games are like that.
I know.
Like fighting games don't even do that a lot of the time. Sometimes.
It's true. Yeah. So the weird thing is when it does happen sometimes.
And then you go, please, can everyone do this? I was talking to a developer friend of mine.
Okay.
And they said that the documentation provided by Sony themselves literally doesn't even entertain the possibility of player 2 getting trophies separately. So the way they literally tell developers how to trigger trophies does not allow for what we're asking for.
That's so stupid.
Despite it being possible. So. But yeah, that game's really great. I love the movesets. I love the characters. They did such an awesome job. The pacing is even spot on where it's just like, oh, I'm entering level 3. I bet this is a vehicle segment. There we go.
That soundtrack is insane.
It is. It is so good.
Like, we'll be talking about that at the end of the year, no doubt.
What was it? I hit one level. I can't remember which one, but I was like, see? T-Lopes knows you can steal Uptown Funk and change it enough to not get sued.
God damn it.
Because for people who don't know, Uptown Funk stole a really old song from the 70s or something, but it was way too direct, so they lost that lawsuit.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, this is a really amazing soundtrack. You can hear the love for, like, you know, 80s style Michael Jackson music and stuff like that all throughout this. You can hear so many styles and influences. Did a really amazing job. There are other composers too. Notable ones not going to talk about because don't want to ruin that. Absolutely amazing. They seriously though, they did a really good job. Outside of those quibbles, I feel like it was a stellar experience, easily worth the price of entry. Did you know it's like, what was it, $5 or $10 cheaper than that? What is it? What's Matt McMuscle's beat 'em up?
Final Vendetta, I think.
Yeah, apparently that thing's like $40, $35. I can't remember, but I was like kind of surprised because you expect the reverse.
Yeah, because this is a licensed Turtles game made by developers that's known, whereas that
This is immaculate.
is kind of hideous.
Yeah, this is a lot cheaper than I expected.
Okay, so Final Vendetta is not Matt's game. The Takeover is. Okay, Final Vendetta is a separate thing. Okay. Sorry, I just saw it and I was like, that's that thing, right? That I saw like a year ago.
This has like the most unbelievable sprite work I've seen in a really long time. It's like Shovel Knight levels of everything looking perfect.
Yeah. Which is funny because like the character designs are done by the person who did the Scott Pilgrim game. I don't know if they animated any of it though. Persona Sama did. worked on Skullgirls, was one of the animators on this, and so that's pretty cool. You're right though, the animations are immaculate. It's so good.
I came into this like wondering what things they were going to pull from the Turtles that I knew of, having watched all of the 2003 show, and the answer was literally everything. But
literally
everything
literally
except
everything.
one character that was just, and I was like, how? How did you get every single character in here?
Well, it's simple. They just did everything from the 80s cartoon, which
Right.
was also everything
this
from the 03 one.
Yeah,
This
that
is
was
everything from the
crazy.
80s cartoon. It was everything from the first 2 movies.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
The
really
third movie though.
It's really good. It's like level 3 or 4. You end up going to an arcade and they pull out the monsters from the second movie.
Yeah,
That
Yeah.
are the legally distinct Bebop and Rocksteady. And I
Yeah, that
fucking
was great.
lost it.
I was so happy when I saw that, and then it's like, here's the alien Triceratops race, and I'm like, yes,
Yes.
those guys.
Yeah, the Triceratons.
I was like, I don't know who these dudes are.
It's fighting dinosaurs is cool, so whatever.
They do, for people who haven't played this, they have collectibles all throughout the game where you find the diaries for this one chick.
Irma.
And Irma, yes. I was like, Irma, can't remember her last name.
Pick up the stinky bug.
Yeah, you need to pick up the stinky bugs and VHS tapes and other things for all these different characters. And we literally did like everything on our first playthrough except for one collectible over here and the person who unlocked us looking at the collectibles over here. And so we went, oh, there's like nothing else to do except for play in an arcade, which of course I'm going to do. It's really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the only thing it could make it better is if the progression system was a little better. Like, I feel like that's pretty weak.
Yeah, it's interesting and worth talking about too, because it's not normal. So you get unlocks for your character, whether that's mid-air specials, using your special meter, or rolling specials, or like an unlocked radical mode, or just extra health and extra lives. You unlock all of those on a tier of like 100 points, 200 points, 400 points, 800 points. And you do that as you play through the game, getting points by, kicking ass and getting collectibles if you want. Yeah, I don't know. It feels weird because damage-wise, you kind of peak at the mid-air special.
Yes, and that's the first thing you unlock, basically. The first real thing you unlock. Before that, they give you like health boosts.
Yeah, they give you a couple other things before that are really, really minor stuff. But like, I prefer that the basic moveset doesn't feel robbed.
Yeah,
to begin
absolutely.
With, I've definitely played games where that's the case. In fact, I haven't gone back to Double Dragon Neon, but I bet it's definitely one of those.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, I wish I had had this.
Yeah, and I know that River City Girls does suffer from that a bit too, because they have so many moves.
Yeah, I remember when I was finally playing River City Girls, and I'm like, I'm sad this doesn't have blank. And you're like, well, you get that eventually. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, Castle Crashers is another example of an old beat 'em up where you just don't have shit for a really long time. That would have been nice.
Right.
But yeah. I really like the combo system that they just keep stacking up how many hits you can get without getting hit once. I really appreciate I can keep wailing on this dead body.
Yeah,
That shit's really fun. Yes. Also, as you combo up, you build meter. But if you get hit even once, it will subtract meter, which took me a while to even notice. I was like, oh, so you're taking it back? This is bullshit.
Yeah, at the same time, you can just taunt at any point and you get a whole bar. So
that's true.
Like, it's not a big issue if you lose it.
Yeah, you can taunt at any point unless the boss you're fighting is a pinball and it happens to aim at you for once.
Yes.
I'm like, it's okay. I'm going to sit over here. I'm a taunt. But yeah, I did the obvious thing. I played through as Mikey first. Bob, what did you?
I went through as April.
Okay, Feel?
Oh, I played as Leonardo in April.
Okay, and KZ, who did you play as?
Splinter.
Cool. I like some of their moves being differentiated, like when it comes to the supers.
Mm-hmm.
Too many of them do here's the sphere of damage, though.
Right.
But like
Yeah.
April's, Splinters, those are pretty different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked Splinter's extra when he gets the backdash super, where he backs up and a bunch of astral projections of him shoot out like a beam.
Yeah, I
that's
saw that.
cool.
I saw that in a trailer. It's really cool.
Because a lot of them, their dash special, at least the ones me and Dan had, were just both really bad. Like April and Mikey's were both
Mikey's-
like, I would never use this.
Mikey's just like, I'm gonna do a bicycle kick, and I'm like, yeah, except for like you don't do it far enough or fast enough to hit enemies, and it's not enough damage for it to feel good. And I'm just gonna keep doing this midair one that hits. It has like the biggest hit range.
It's good when you have like that pizza power up that just lets you spam stuff, and then you're just doing bicycle kicks for 20 seconds.
Yes, that is really good. It's really, really good. I appreciate them getting the old voice actors back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was really cool to just be like, there's Rob Paulson, there's Liquid Snake. But yeah, aside from that, I talked about it. Did anyone else have anything to say?
Yeah, that was just really, it was like popping bubble wrap, getting a crew of people just playing through that, trying out the, just marveling at there being an overworld map that you're like going through.
Yeah, that was really neat.
And trying to get like a read of where the game's like going to end,
Mhm.
where it's just like, man, this is still going. And just the ideas it had, people in my call did not know who Krang was. So Carl ended up Googling Krang and got the 80s T-pose design sheet for Krang.
Yes.
And just went insane for an hour straight over how fucking stupid Krang looks.
Yeah, it's intentional.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah, Krang is the thing about the 80s cartoon is that they were just completely ripping off the X-Men comic at the time, just relentlessly. So that's why there's like, why do they keep going to other dimensions into space all the time? They're the Ninja Turtles. Like, it's because the X-Men did.
That's hilarious.
I like to think of it as, it's the 80s, and you know what's cool? Dimensions.
Yeah.
That's the way I like to think of it.
I mean, they're right. All of that shit is cool. Except for those horrible, like, children from Dimension X. I hate them.
That's
They look
understandable.
horrible.
They do look horrible. But yeah, that was great. I would line up to buy any project of this caliber at this price on launch day forever. Basically, it's so good.
yeah, no, it's great. I like that
Yeah.
most of April's moves were just Chun-Li moves.
That's
Yeah.
okay. Most of April's thighs were Chun-Li thighs.
Yes.
What you gonna do?
I was, one issue I have, we had some like connection issues for the online due to what I'm gonna say was crossplay with Xbox and PC Game Pass, where it became this nightmare of we hit a boss and the game bugged. It's I think it was the bat one that's like flying in the air,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone except one person could see it.
What?
It became invisible for 3 of us. And they're like, hit here, now! And it's like, we all gather and start whacking at nothing, and we won. But it was... We had various stuff like that. And after that, I went, I'm going to buy the game at full price, because that's a moral obligation.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I don't want to be in this console environment where apparently shit like that just happened.
Yeah, that's fair. By the way, that boss's name was Noivern.
Yes! Yeah, fully evolved.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Might have been Mega Noivern. I don't know. Anyway. I really liked when, like, I just get to see these cool redesigns of all these characters. Like, that's so neat.
Yeah.
Most IPs would be so blessed to see such a good, like, representation of their IP in a modern environment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah.
I did not expect it to be this, like, deliriously good
Mhm.
at all. I was like, this'll be fun for a night, but it actually, like just marveling at the amount of moves you had. Like, when they give you the tutorial where there's 31 pages. As opposed to some of the classic Turtles games where it's like, they all play the same.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have that many moves. Like, there's no midair rising attack. There's no double jump to get into a swing a bunch in midair attack.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest, on Wingnut, I actually only knew him because of the tournament fighter, which I also owned.
Oh,
Let's go.
I was like, I don't
love that.
remember you in anything except for that.
Fucking Chrome Dome.
yeah,
Yeah, that got me.
this game really showed me how little I know about turtles. Because
Yeah.
it's like I play some of the games and I watched the first 2 movies.
Yeah.
I need to just find the most farcical month if it wings it the first time, right? That it gets replaced by a Turtles month.
That would be great.
Because we have all these weird gimmick replacements, like we were talking about, what was it? If people vote for Skyrim month, whereas we're just playing Skyrim. Nothing else. You're just going to see us play through all of Skyrim. What was it we were talking about replacing it with? It was an absolutely...
Dragon's Dogma month.
Dragon's Dog month. Like, here's us playing another enormous game. That's it.
While we were playing, I was joking how Chrome Dome was just Silver Samurai. And that was really funny to hear people be like, yeah, they just took that stuff. Like, yeah, they sure did.
What? No. But yeah, aside from that, that's all I played this week. I love that game. That's a really when I play a new game, like I don't sit there. Okay, firstly, Double Dragon was never as good as Double Dragon 2 is as good as the TMNT arcade games, right? Like Arcade 3, Turtles in Time.
Okay.
Double Dragon 3 isn't. Super Double Dragon sucks. Double Dragon 1 is not great.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, like, people want to be like, I've heard people say insane shit like nobody cared about frame rate until the Digital Foundry came around. I'm like, no, as a kid, I didn't know the lexicon, but when I boot up Super Double Dragon and it runs like shit, I immediately go, I don't want to play this. Because it's like, I'm not even sure it's 30 frames per second. I think it's like 20. It's like chunky and full of slow motion the whole time. So what I was going to say is like, I wouldn't expect the new Double Dragon to be as good as those, and those weren't even that, like, 2's amazing. But the others kind of, But this Turtles game really does just sit up there with, like, Hyperstone Heist and Turtles in Time and Manhattan Project and 2. It's so good.
Yeah. I don't think this is as good as Streets of Rage, the new one, but nothing is. That's the best one of those. That's the best beat 'em up, period.
Yeah, I don't think that's fair, because
No,
I
it's not.
genuinely think that might be the best beat 'em up ever fucking made.
Yeah.
Like, it's not at all fair to compare to that. like, oh, this is River City. Like, we talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
How I was like, I wish I played River City Girls before Streets of Rage 4.
Yes, that was not fair.
That came up on Game of the Year that
wasn't
year.
fair.
No, it wasn't. But that's it for me for games. Bob.
Yes, I played a few things.
Oh?
Not that many.
Okay.
Not like last week.
A few, like 8.
18.
They put a new event up in Genshin.
Mm-hmm.
It's yet another new way to do a music game. So another rhythm game, another new style for it. All the rhythm icons come out of the center of the screen, like at the top, and go towards the bottom of the screen, and there's no track. So I have to guess at which one they're going towards. It's really hard to like line it up properly.
But do they change direction or anything in midair, or is it a direct line?
It's a direct line.
Okay.
But it's still really hard because it's really close. Like,
right.
The two fields are this far apart, like an inch or less.
Yeah, I glanced over there. How many different inputs? Is it 6?
It's 6 different inputs. Luckily, only the hardest difficulty is all 6. I just have to deal with 4 for the lower difficulties. And even that's bad because they put on really weird buttons. It's down, right, square, and X.
Yeah. That's what you would do on, like, was it Rock Band Unplugged or something?
I guess, but I feel like if I was able to set them myself, I would not do that. Like, not at all. I'd probably be like left, down, X, circle. That makes a lot more sense in my head than the center ones.
I think the thing you just said is actually what Rock Band Unplugged does, not the inner, but the outer.
Yeah, the inner just makes it really weird, and you can't fix it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Bob, if we let you take control, there wouldn't even be a fucking rhythm section.
But the funny part of this game, in my opinion, is they actually put in some of the better songs from the game, like more action-y ones that are really fast-paced. Your character sits there and plays a drum to it and looks the most bored you can imagine. He's just like,
does he look like doing like the little drummer boy, like rat-a-tat-tatting on the drum?
it's a Japanese style drum, so it's like over his shoulder.
Oh, okay.
And he just holds it up there and looks insanely bored as he slowly taps it, not in sync with anything happening on screen.
What's the context for this moment? Is he in a school? Because I feel like that was kind of the aura around any musical thing in school.
No, it is a festival for, I can't remember the name of the character. He's their Oni guy. And he's doing his own festival about the Oni.
Okay.
And it's all about playing drums. Also, they set up the event giver right next to a pool of water, so you're slightly touching it, so you're wet. So your guy's dripping wet as you're playing the drum.
Maybe that's intentional. Maybe they were like, "We need you to look like you're sweating."
Maybe it's that intense.
Yes.
Are you looking forward to the next rhythm event where they make you learn how to play a recorder?
I think they already did that one, so I'm safe.
I'm safe. They already harmed me.
Right. Other things I played, I went back and actually beat Draynus. That's the shmup done by the guys who did the Toho Luna Nights game.
Right?
Yeah, Ladybug. I think it's called Ladybug or it's Ladybug Games. I'm not sure.
I think it's just Ladybug, but I don't know. But yeah, it was Toho Luna Nights, Pharaoh Rebirth Plus. What else did they do? They did one other.
The Record of Lodos War and Jack Frost.
And Jack Frost, yeah.
Those are the two other big known ones.
But yeah, Draynus,
it's
the shmup. The Schmideways. Sorry.
Blatantly Gradius.
Well,
absolutely Gradius.
Welcome to the shmup genre a little bit after Gradius came out, where there were a few different... I'm Gradius, but...
There is no but. I can have this loadout from Gradius that I use.
Well, let's go over the list. Do you have giant fish enemies?
I guess no giant fish.
Okay, do you shoot part of your ship at them?
No.
Is it exclusively Schmideways?
Yes.
I got this. Is there a bullet absorption technique?
Yes.
Okay. Well, at least that's one thing.
There's the one thing that's different.
Okay, there we go. Cool.
You play through it. There is a plot justification for replaying it.
Okay, cool.
And they act like it's supposed to be way harder, but they also unlock more different power-ups. So I'm getting all this dialogue about, oh man, everything's so much harder this time. I'm like, what are you talking about? You gave me the tornado laser, which tears things to pieces.
As your fucking buff Riku walking through it.
So that's a little weird. I like having those extra power-ups, though. I think it's cool. It's just, I probably would have made that mode even harder.
Yeah, that would make sense. Given that you've already been through the game once, you have a skill advantage and a literal power-up advantage. That would make sense, yeah.
They do one thing to make it more difficult, other than that of, in the first run through, you die, you drop 2 power-ups, so you can pick those back up and be up to a decent power. You drop no power-ups if you die in this, or in the second run. So it's literally, okay, you have to hope something drops a power-up, or else you're stuck with regular gun.
So what you're saying is it's Gradius.
Yes.
At first, I thought it was this Gradius, but then it was way more Gradius.
Oh, yeah. No, the more I played this, more I was like, this is just Gradius.
Well, I like Gradius.
Yeah, no, I like Gradius a lot, too.
Now, I'm not sure that you're versed enough to have an opinion on this. Where does this rank among Gradiuses?
I don't.
Okay.
I'm not good enough for that. I played a lot of 5 and a lot of that 3-4 collection, but I don't remember them, like, definitively which thing happened in which one.
Okay.
But it's...
You telling me I showed you 3 different images that were in 3 different art styles, but they were of the same fucking thing, and you went, which one was what?
Yeah, basically. But if you like Gradius at all, pick this up. Like, it's really solid Gradius. Cool. It's got a plot that goes between all of it. There's tiny little cutscenes at the end and beginning of each level. And then you pick up recorders, which have more plot you can watch, which I didn't do.
That's neat.
But yeah, it's neat. And I've developed the characters some more.
Clearly, you need to do a Gradius month just for Bob. Crab with a Gun, that is one stream.
Yeah, right? Like, Gradius games aren't that long, but we could do those weird, the Parodius.
Yeah,
and
we could
get
do
some more length out of it.
Yeah.
Well,
be one you do the normal Gradius thing, right?
Okay.
And then later you do those. You know, you do your Cho Anarchies and your Parodius is all in one fucking Kuso stream. But yeah, to talk about it a bit, I assume this has to be a decent bit better than many Gradiuses, at least from a playability angle, because Gradius 3 is a dick kicker.
Yeah, this is not like super hard, and it doesn't really limit you on lives so much. So you continue just from you have checkpoints throughout the level.
Okay,
You
cool.
don't really get sent all the way back. I need this. I think there's a separate arcade mode I can play that might do something more similar to that, which I need to check out. I want to. I just haven't had time.
Is there a Konami code?
I don't know. I mean, what would it get you?
I don't know. I haven't played the game.
Yeah, like I said, there aren't lives, so
Right.
I don't know.
Like in Gradius, doesn't get you lives. It actually just gives you every power up unlocked all at once and a force field.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they did something like
Or
that.
if you're playing the wrong one, it kills you.
I mentioned this last time I brought up the game, but they do a really cool thing where you can customize your loadout at any point by pausing it. So you can be like, oh,
Holy shit.
I don't want to have these missiles anymore. I want to swap out level 3 power up for the laser or for the shoot backwards or whatever.
Cool. Yeah, that's great.
It's really neat. There's multiple types of bombs you can set up. So you have one that like makes a gigantic explosion appear in front of you. One that's a charge shot that's kind of like the plasma shot from Eggman X4.
Don't worry, that's in a Gradius.
Of course it is. Of course it is. I'm like, what can I say it has and not just be like, it has this thing from Gradius? It's
Well,
all
that's
that.
okay. You know, there's going to be listeners who've never played a Gradius.
Yeah.
And co-hosts even.
You get
I was going to say, if I were to put money down, I would say KZ has not played Gradius.
I played like pieces,
Okay.
but nothing like substantial beyond like I played a stage of a couple of them.
KZ's like, my parent made me play Gradius 1 on NES, and I'm like, that's child abuse. I can get you money for that. No, seriously, I became a fan of Gradius because of later ones, and then eventually I came to own Gradius 1 on the NES. That sucks.
Oh yeah, this has a feature where you know how Gradius you can just run into the wall and die. Mm-hmm. You can that's a default, but you can turn on a feature that adds bumpers to your ship so that they stop you from running into the wall.
Does it make like bowling alley bumper sounds?
It should, but it doesn't.
That's so funny. I actually found that to be one of the more frustrating things about Gradius is like,
yes,
don't touch the wall.
and
it's not even a huge part of the level design in many levels. So you just do it accidentally, and it's like, oh right, that's a thing.
At least it doesn't even if you don't have that on, it doesn't instant kill you like it does in Gradius. You just die, right?
Yeah, Gradius is a one-hit kill game. You gonna tell me you have a health bar?
Instead of a health bar, each time you take a hit, you lose a power up. So if you have the full power up, you're pretty well off.
This sounds nothing like Gradius.
Yeah, I know. It is. It's way easier.
Gradius is a game you bought for too much money on the NES, and then you die immediately, and you go, this kind of bad. Kind of bad.
It has the different shield types that Gradius has too, because there's the forward shield that just sits right in front of you and can take some shots,
And
then there's
so-
the force field, which can take some
Okay.
shots from every angle.
Okay, so it's got the harmony of dissonance shield because you could get that as one of the combinations.
You can.
And then it's got a force field. That's cool. That's cool. Do you get options?
Yes, you have options in all the different types. So there's the one, my favorite options is the one where it follows the path of your ship. That's so I can keep that one all the time. There's also the option where it just always rotates around your ship. And there's the option where it's in a formation.
Well, I'm glad I know that Ladybug likes Gradius a lot.
Yes.
That is important.
I honestly am like, did they try and get the license and couldn't? Because, it's Konami.
Konami's pretty stupid, but I feel like they would go for that. Maybe they asked for too much money.
Maybe. I don't know. Like this, you could put the Gradius name on it and change literally nothing. And I think people would get it.
Are you telling me you don't need a time loop storyline involving the pilot of the Viper, which is you, and you don't... Wait a minute. Bob, why didn't you just start this fucking segment with, so do you like Gradius 5 specifically?
Yeah.
Would you like to play Gradius 5 specifically?
I didn't want to just come out and say it.
Man, Gradius 5 is a cool game.
Gradius 5 is really cool. What if the pilot was a lady instead? We changed nothing else.
Oh, cool. Great. Sounds great. Jesus Christ.
But yeah, they...
Okay, I got to ask one important thing since we already covered that ground.
Okay.
Do you get to see the other you on the other playthrough follow the route you did?
No, they didn't do that.
That's the coolest shit in the world when that happens in Gradius 5. You're like, holy shit, that's me. I suck.
Yeah.
as you watch yourself smash into the wall and die.
Was the plot here is kind of neat. You're like fighting an evil empire. You've stolen one of their new prototype ships, so eventually you are chased down by other ones of your Draynus ship, and it's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. Damn. How much is this game?
How much? I want to say it was like 20, but I'm not sure.
I'm gonna.
I just bought it day one because like it's Ladybug's new game.
Yeah.
I trust them. If the game is bad, it'll still look amazing.
True. Unlike certain other shmups that.
Yeah, it's $15 normally, and right now it's only $12.
Oh my god.
One moment, I'm just gonna.
Yeah, everyone go buy that.
I'm already doing it. I'm buying Gradius 5 again. Look at me, I'm an idiot.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you said, but so I bought Soul Cresta. Did that come out?
Yeah, Soul Cresta came out like 2 or 3 months ago, and it hasn't gone on sale even once with all these big sales going on.
And no one cares.
Of course not.
Yeah, that's $40. I think it's insane. I don't.
That's funny
With
because
story DLC.
Destiny 2's The Witch Queen is 40% off, and that came out around the same time, didn't it?
I think so.
Jesus Christ, guys!
Yeah,
Put
they
Soul
have,
Crest
they
on sale.
have some
Jesus.
level of a clue.
Right?
No, well, this will work. We will trick one person. We will get that $40.
Babylon's Fall hit 0 players on Steam last weekend.
That makes sense.
It's
Man, I'm
over.
watching this person play this game because Steam does that thing where it's like, here's somebody who's streaming this right now.
Yes.
That's fucking Gradius.
Yes, absolutely.
Fantastic. I'm looking forward to playing Gradius 5 again for the first time. Should I get the soundtrack, Bob?
The soundtrack was pretty good, but I don't know. I didn't listen to it intensely, so I'm not.
Like Gradius 5, is the soundtrack secretly made by the people who do all the Vanillaware soundtracks?
I doubt it.
Because it was the funniest thing about Aegis Sentinel, 13 Rims.
13 rims.
I had to, after I said the first part, I had to complete it. The funniest thing about playing 13 Rims Aegis Sentinel is that you listen to the soundtrack. You listen to the soundtrack and you're like, that's Final Fantasy Tactics. And then you hit the next song and you go, that's Gradius 5. And then you find out, yeah, it's all the same guy.
I'll never forget when I first moved down here and we were trying to get a desk from Office Max before they closed. And you played 13th Sentinel's soundtrack in the background while we were driving. And you're like, we're hitting every red light. Then the bad, scary music started playing. And you're like, no, you're ruining the vibe.
You're ruining it. Stop, scary song.
They're closing in 6 minutes. Stop.
Bob, did you know Draynus is similar to Cuphead?
Okay.
Cuphead has shmup segments.
Yeah, I guess. It's
That
closer
is
than
not
that.
what-
Yes.
It's
It is-
closer than that section usually is on Steam. Okay.
What are you talking about? Foxandra from Twitch.tv. Foxandra had Steam tell her that AI, the Somnium Files, is just like Doom Eternal. That seemed fitting.
It's so weird because I've had Steam tell me this game you're looking at is nothing like anything you've ever played. And I have like 300 plus games in my library, so it's not a problem with that.
I have no idea, man. Why, yes, I am purchasing this for myself. What? I get a Steam trading card.
Oh, enjoy your schmideways.
I will. See, that's the thing. People are like, well, you know, Cuphead's also a Schmideways. And I'm like, no, that's a Schmationary.
That is true. Schmationary. DLC's out in a week.
I cannot even. Okay, Steam, that's a new one. I'm loving you popping this on me during a stream. Oh wow.
No.
Oh wow. Anyway, did you play anything else? Bob?
Yeah, I played one other thing. I went back and beat Pocky and Rocky Reshrined, which still isn't out in the US. Still.
Wait, what? God damn it.
Because I broke down and just bought this from the Hong Kong store like 3 weeks ago, and now I finally had time to go back and finish it. This art is still immaculate, but I feel like the gameplay could have been improved a lot, and it just isn't there. Which is sad. I like the style of it a lot. A whole lot. I wish that they did more to touch it up, because like the last thing they did, the oh my god, what was that ninja game called?
Ninja Warriors again.
Yeah, Ninja Warriors Once Again was a huge improvement
Terrible fucking name.
in gameplay from the old game.
Yeah, it was fucked up because I only noticed later that like it's like watching you guys, because I played the original on SNES, and I'm
Yeah.
like, it's fine, it's neat. But then I watched you and Eric playing the new one, and I'm like, this is a vast improvement.
Yeah, like they went back and they touched it up, made it way better. And then this Pocky and Rocky really is just like old Pocky and Rocky, maybe worse in some ways. Like,
Really,
it's not levels don't feel that fair. It feels like I'm being hit by things I really don't expect to be very frequently. It's it's hard to recommend, even though it's really beautiful.
does the game have Shrine Maiden jump scares?
No.
I need my slow burn A24 horror. No jump scares, please.
But it still looks immaculate. If you're a fan of the series, you'll probably want to pick it up just to see all the stuff they did. It has an interesting plot.
Sorry, Bob. We're doing the Sega Lord X thing now. We're going to start recommending games as if you're a fan of the subject matter, not even a fan of the genre or the series.
If you feel like you might become a fan somehow, buy it at full price.
What, do you remember what game he said that about?
don't
I think it was a
remember.
tank game, and
I
he was
think
like,
it
"If
was-
you're a fan of the subject matter," and I'm like, "What?"
We watched that video of quirky racing games, and he's like,
Yes.
"This shit sucks. You should buy it." And I was like, "What the hell is happening?"
He's like, "This is terrible. It made me very miserable, but it's probably okay for kids." Moves on. And I'm like, "What the fuck is going on?"
I went to jail once.
But I think if you like Shrine Maidens, yeah, you'll probably like this.
Okay, cool. Yeah, there we go. If you're into Shrine Maidens, check it out.
Let's go.
When it finally fucking comes over.
Right? Jeez, I can't believe it's taking so long. I need to play more of it to figure out how to unlock the final character.
Oh, really?
Because I beat the whole story mode and I didn't unlock them. Each one does play pretty differently, so I'm hopeful that this other character will be fun. Like, I think currently the goddess character is probably the most fun to play because she shoots out a lot more projectiles in different directions more easily. Because it does this thing where you can walk in all four directions, but you can't hold your shot in one direction, so you can't like side strife and shoot. Where this one character can.
Sorry, you saying the scattershot thing reminded me of something else I played that I need to talk about.
Oh no. Well, I'm done. What do you got, Dan? What did you forget?
I was going to cover this in news, but I'll cover it now. Sony just put Super Stardust Portable, the PSP game, up on the PlayStation Store. Didn't announce it, didn't do anything, but if you search for it, it's like, here you go. It's part of your Classics collection. So this is the second PSP game they've released. Also has no trophies. This is the dumbest game in the world to pull from the PSP. To be fair, they did an admirable job. They did a really admirable job making this on the PSP back in the day.
Right. Back in the day, that's fine.
It is worse to play now. It sucks, but it looks great. We have a version of Stardust on the PS4, Super Stardust Ultra, that exists. Just get that. The PSP, you have to use face buttons to shoot in a twin stick shooter. But they said a thing where if you tap the button, it'll do a little bit of a spray. Here's why it's so horrible. Like, this is terrible. Now, for anyone who hasn't held a PSP, the PSP has the start and select buttons on the bottom row to the right, meaning you reach over and hit that with this, okay? With your right thumb. The way you change weapons in this game is pushing up and down on the D-pad or hitting select. You can't do any of those with your right thumb. In a twin stick shooter where you have multiple objects flying at you that are weak to different shot types, they want you to stop moving entirely in order to change shot types. It's fucking terrible. What do L and R do? L boosts, R uses your bomb.
If they just let you remap, you can easily put those on R2.
Right. And
Anything.
they had this feature on a thing called the PlayStation Vita.
The PlayStation Vita also had the feature of remapping the analog stick to represent the face buttons.
And the D-pad, or the L and R. It could do all of these things. The PlayStation TV does this. Horrible. Horrible that this emulator is not up to snuff with that. Seeing this in HD, though, it looks really nice. It's kind of impressive.
Yeah, it makes me hopeful for when they port any game that makes sense.
Right, because
Any.
Echo Chrome looked terrible because it needed to not be high res, so you didn't see the way it cheated.
Yeah.
But now it's so high res, you can see the holes out of the bottom of a thing when you're looking at it from the side, and it's like, that looks wrong.
But yeah, just put freaking Mega Man's.
Yeah, put Mega Man, put Maverick Hunter X, put Dracula X Chronicles, put Mega Man Powered Up, put Coated Arms. Fuck it,
Right?
Like,
you're not making the console one because you're cowards. So give it
exactly.
this.
Like, Konami's too chicken shit to make the console Coated Arms.
They showed us the trailer. Where is it? Where is it, Konami?
Where is it, Konami? I want to see it. Fucking Randy, is this your fault?
But yeah, they need to put out any number of PSP games. I'm not even asking for something as good as Dissidia. I'm asking for sub-Dissidia hype levels.
Yes, you're asking for anything that makes any sort of sense.
Any sort of sense at all.
Instead of two games that are just a really bad version of one and one that's literally available in a better version on the PS4.
Right. So, I would like that. But seeing Stardust looks really great. Fantastic. I would like a game where you didn't accidentally ruin it with the control layout. We now go to KZ Excellent.
Oh. Hello.
Hi.
We already talked about Shredder's Revenge, so knocking that out. I also played through all of Ape Escape on PS5 last week.
Mm.
That's still really delightful. I forgot the tank and the boat are like that. And I was like, this is the worst thing I've ever felt. Why is it like that?
The tank's really easy. You just have to move slowly. So that way you don't, you can steer mildly. Because otherwise it's way too fast. I think they bring the tank back in for 2 and it just feels better. Like it's more sensitive to doing turns and stuff.
Okay.
The boat's supposed to be a nightmare. It's literally supposed to be, this is hard. You can swim with that electric fish, though, so go fuck yourself.
I mean, it's there to be like the DualShock is new, kid. Experience how hard it is to row a boat.
Let me show you what I did.
Know?
Let me show you what I did as a kid. No shit. I'm like, oh, okay, this one does the right, and then this one, I got this figured out. I put my hand down on top of the controller and just spun all of it. And as I spin it in a circle, I go, oh, this is too hard. I'm doomed.
But yeah, aside from that, it was pretty delightful. I don't have too much to say about that one. Another pretty quick one. I finished up Monster Hunter Rise with people yesterday.
Oh shit!
So we're fully caught up. We beat the base game at launch's final boss, which lets you unlock the expansion when that drops. Multiplayer Monster Hunter is still the peak in terms of getting people together to cooperate to fight a big monster. When we started hitting a point where my friend Alto would leave the map and go across the other side, pick up another monster, and ride it all the way over to what we were fighting so they could slam its head into it. Or some of the more fantastical monsters like Rajang, where it's like, he brought him over to shoot a giant Kamehameha wave out of its mouth. So some monsters like the T-Rex that shoots fire out of its nose, it's just on the ground crying the entire time. It can't do anything.
Jesus Christ.
Because we're just beating the hell out of it, tying it down, chopping off its tail. Just having a good time. I really like that final boss they did. It did a really good job of challenging you to use a lot of the grappling hook mechanics and stuff. So it is mostly a bullet hell boss that flies around, and it's really exciting. Really excited to jump into the new expansion when that drops at the end of the month. The other games I played, this one I did a death stream of this on Monday. I played the Quarry, which is the supermassive game that came out. I think it was last week. This is the developers of Until Dawn. 2K is publishing this. This will show up in news later. Other details about how this game got made. But unlike
not a good sign. No, that is really not a good sign.
I'm worried about the Quarry.
Don't be. It's funny news.
Okay.
Yeah, unlike the Bandai Namco stuff they've been doing, which was like the Dark Pictures anthology, this seems to have had much more time put into it, and is filled with actual actors in it, like Ted Raimi's in it, David Arquette, Brenda Song, various people, and Justice Smith, who is my understanding is the dude from Detective Pikachu. He's like the main dude that hung out with Pikachu in that film.
Oh, that's Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds is in this. Looks a little different. And I was wondering, like, what level was this game going to operate at when this character, his name is Ryan, he listens to horror podcasts about the place they're in at this very moment right now. And I'm like, this is the level that they're operating at. He's like, this podcast is really good. Talks about how dangerous this place is.
And then the podcast plays, and it's Lisa Simpson.
No.
I have learned that before they created 5 real episodes of this podcast.
Oh,
Where they just got voice actors to just run this bit.
that's cute.
Yeah.
Isn't that cute? That's a cute little podcast you made there.
Yeah. I don't want to give away too much about the actual content of like the story beyond the fact that they what?
Wake up, campers! I'm sorry, that got me. Wake up, campers, because you're about to get spooked in the big spooky dimension.
Like your basic concept here is that they go to up in the quarry, they head over to a summer camp, and they spent their time there. Everything's fine, but unfortunately, due to special situations, they can't leave, so they have to stay for like 1 extra day. And the main counselor, who I think is like David Arquette from Scream, leaves to go like get another vehicle or something. And then bad things eventually start happening. It's cinematic, like story type of thing, having conversations, doing some light interactables, collecting stuff. It'll be very important for you to collect evidence in this game because if you don't collect enough and people survive, they'll just be put in prison. They're like, we didn't find any evidence, so we just assume you did all the bad things that happened here. So all of your characters get jailed if they survive, but you don't have evidence.
That's the problem when
That's a pretty accurate representation of the American law system, if we're being honest.
This is how it would have gone if Conan never showed up.
Yeah,
He would have just drunkenly been like, it was dumb. The police would have been like, okay, sure.
Yeah, I couldn't handle the fact that the town this takes place in is North Kill, New York. Where I'm like, why did you come here? Why did you...
it's a zany town.
They really are just shooting for a little bit of everything in this. They replaced Until Dawn's worst mechanic, which was there's a horrible thing right next to you. Don't move the controller at all. If you do, we will automatically fail you.
With like the motion controls.
Yeah.
Is this multi-platform? How does that work on other platforms?
Yeah, so Until Dawn did that. They've replaced that with Don't Breathe, where there's a little meter and you hold the button to not breathe.
Okay.
And it's going down, and you have to wait for when it's when the enemies aren't actually looking at you, so you can get out. Otherwise, some rough events will happen.
I was like, it's okay. Don't breathe. They could just use the mic.
No.
Multi-platform shit's hard. They need to update that controller at all.
Never.
Mm-hmm.
It's perfect.
All the characters are really, really fun dipshits. I ended up liking this more than Until Dawn because when we reached the point of the jacked-looking dude wearing no shirt dancing around doing a cereal jingle, I'm like, what is happening in this game?
That's pretty good.
It's like really wonderful. It took me about 7.5 hours. It probably would have been a little longer, but I did do a thing where I went, I don't like this character, guys. I'm going to try and fail every QT and see how long it takes. And then within 4 minutes, I got them killed.
Connor, no.
Yeah, I put up a prediction saying, will my actions lead to a death? And it was like 91-9 in favor of, yes, this is over. There's no chance here.
That makes sense. That jingle thing you were talking about, that just makes me think of numerous like slasher movies where it's just like, and then we have this looped out the fucking head, like out of his dome character who's just like the guy. Like, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, of course, is completely insane. Like that family's nuts. But, throughout slasher horror movies, they do just have the character who's cranked too high. Like he's just outside of the realm of acceptable humans.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of things here are just cranked too high in a really good way. Where I'm just
Nice.
like, I'm really into all of these characters. I want to save as many of them as I can. That's why 3 of them may have died in 15 seconds. You do some stuff wrong, it goes bad.
Good. That's what I want.
When you finish the game, they added some stuff, I guess, in response to like Until Dawn. They're like, if you play this again, you now have 3 rewinds you can do to roll back. Oh, you fucked that up. Roll it back to see if you can get all of them to
Neat.
to survive. They have a couch co-op mode, and the most interesting one, movie mode, where it gives you 3 options: a pre-canned version of the whole game where everyone lives, where everyone dies, or director mode, where you pick every single character, every main character, and you check like their bravery, their personality type, and you adjust all of them like a slider.
That is awesome.
So it's like, this is their motivation, and based on that, they will try and do things, and that might lead to them living or dying. So there's a lot of interesting stuff. They apparently had to delay, but they're going to do some sort of online mode for it as well. Really cool. Like, I was really impressed with a lot of these extra features on top of it just being what I've wanted since Until Dawn, like a big budget, another one of these that they haven't really executed on with the Bandai Namco ones they've been doing. So I'm glad they were able to get that sorted out. I did have one issue though. This is 2K. I paid $70 to play this game.
Whoa.
Yes, because they're like, it's a PS5 version. No.
Yeah, it's 2K. They don't do that at launch.
Oh, I got confused because it was at the Microsoft show.
Wasn't the 2K thing like? Wasn't the guy from 2K who came out and was like, "No, Sony's fucking right. Like, it makes no fucking sense to give your games away for free."
Yeah, it was a Take-Two executive saying we can't do that.
Yeah. They were like, "No, Sony's right. Absolutely. It's like, economically speaking, that doesn't make any sense." And then he has to do the thing you always do at the very, very end. Like, he states over and over in all these ways that Sony's model makes sense. You only want to put your older games up on a service like that. And then at the very end, after saying this multiple times, he goes, "But if that's the way the market goes, we of course will meet them there."
Yeah. But yeah, I would wait for a sale to actually get into this. But overall, I had a great time. It was good to see various child actors that I follow through shows like Brenda Song in it, and someone's like, "She's married to Macaulay Culkin now," and I'm like, I didn't need to know this necessarily. I hope she appears in a Red Letter Media video.
What is Brenda Song from? Like, what would people know her for?
The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody on the Disney Channel.
Oh my God!
All right.
And the Disney Channel original movie Wendy Wu Homecoming Warrior. Those are the ones off the top of my head.
She's also in The Social Network.
Yeah, she was in The Social Network. I'm fucking losing it. I'm like, wait, I know her from that. What?
Yeah.
I was supposed to have a stroke during that movie?
Oh, hey, she was also the main girl in 100 Deeds for Eddie McDowd.
Let's go. See, all the important stuff. We're nailing all of them all in a row.
If I remember correctly, she's insane in The Social Network. For anyone who hasn't seen it, she plays a character that is way over the top.
Oh yeah,
She's also the one of the main characters of something called Dollface. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, oh my God.
Wait, wasn't Dollface the thing Red Letter Media constantly makes fun of for like a year there and then forgot it existed? I don't know. Whatever.
All I could think of is the Twisted Metal character.
Yeah,
I think that's her name, but I can't remember.
So, some of my a couple other things that I really liked. The fact that they tell you some QTs, if you do them right, aren't going to be a good thing.
Oh,
And it's like you did the QTE right, but you chose the wrong route to run.
Yeah, it's like, you succeeded. Too bad that didn't fucking matter.
Yeah, that, and they do the same thing Until Dawn did, where Peter Stormare would show up and like talk about the events. They have like this old woman in this where it's like, collect the tarot cards for the Arcana, and I'll give you like visions of stuff. But for most of those, I didn't find any of them. She's like, let's see what you have. Cut. Nothing. Leave. And then it just ends and cuts to the next chapter.
Yes, Dollface is the name of the character. It started in Twisted Metal Black.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that character was done by Laura Palmer's mom from Twin Peaks, because they're trying to get as many horror or suspense related actors in this as they could.
See, that's why it's $70. Pay up.
yeah, definitely.
Maybe if they got the Macaulay, they got Mac.
But yeah, that's it for the Quarry. Really enjoyed that. I recommend that when it goes down in price. And the only other game I played was one that I know Phil also played, Neon White, which
I played a
finally,
bunch of that.
Came out on Steam. This is that speed run game where you're running around these areas using cards of some sort in a first person perspective. And this game's incredible. Like,
See, in normal podcasts, I could just slip out and let them know I'm leaving. But now that we're filmed, it's awkward.
Yeah.
I will be right back.
Yeah. So this is a fantastic speedrun style game. These are short burst levels, where you're going for par times of bronze, silver, and gold, and then like diamond. Where getting the first set is relatively simple once you like play through the level and you just run through it as efficiently as possible. And then the last one is you have to break the level in some way. Like you'll skip an entire chunk using your various different tools.
Yeah, the way it works is you have a sword that is shitty and you should never use. And you pick up these things called soul cards. So like one of them will be a pistol and it'll have like 9 shots.
Yeah.
But you can also burn it to do a double jump. You just throw it out entirely. So the ideal would be to use all the ammo until you have 1 shot left and then use it. Basically, you have to get from the start to the end, and there's, in most levels, not all of them, in most levels there are enemies and you have to kill them all.
Yeah.
So it becomes optimizing that, and it's really clever, because once you get to gold, which is, you can usually get gold by just optimally doing the most obvious route.
Yeah.
Then it unlocks a hint, which is a big, like, glowing handprint somewhere in the level, which tells you this is where the skip has to happen. And if you touch it, it'll even, like, show you the skip as you should do it.
Yeah,
but it's up to you to figure out, like, what abilities you need to bring to that thing, because you don't have, like, a loadout. Everything you find in the levels.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll like go up to that hand and it's like, oh, it's jumping off to a completely different side of the map. And it's like, oh, I'm starting to understand it. And you'll get some powers where it's like you discarding this machine, this rifle's gonna like shoot out a bomb, which will blow up a cluster of enemies. Or if you shoot it below you, you can use it to boost up to higher areas. You got one that like lets you do a sword slash almost like forward that breaks through walls. And yeah, a lot of that stuff's great. This is the first game I'm playing above 60 frames.
Yeah, it goes to 144 if you have a monitor for that.
Yeah, so I'm playing this at 144, so it feels insane. And has the exact same energy as the speedrun levels in Astro's Playroom of I have friend leaderboards, and these levels are so fast and so good that I just keep going over and over to like get as fast as possible. Because sometimes I would fail to get the diamond thing, and I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. But I see 4 people on my friends list have done it, so I have to.
Yeah, if this comes out on PlayStation and they include the card shit, especially if they include the Astro's Playroom thing where it's like, hey, here's all the things that got beaten out of your speeds. Well, we're helpfully telling you that this won't cause you to develop a compulsion or anything.
Yeah,
it'll get real bad.
I have to wonder if it'll feel okay on a controller, because I played this back in a Steam Next Fest months ago. And I was like, this is great on PC. I can't imagine if it'll translate well.
Yeah, there's definitely been times where I feel like there's no way you could have gotten the time I got on a controller. Not a
right.
There's also a hidden level, a hidden rank in every level of the dev time that you can beat. They don't tell you what it is. They tell you what the levels are for what the times are for the other categories, but you have to beat their hidden time, and then you get a red medal instead of just the diamond one.
Ooh.
Yeah, I haven't encountered that yet. I did see the devs tweeting, "Stop beating our times. We've had enough of this."
I couldn't figure out how to plat one level, so I just looked it up and I'm like, okay, this person has 18 seconds below the time you need for the platinum. They seem to be doing pixel perfect shots from all the way across the map to hit explosive barrels to kill enemies, so they can just completely ignore half the level.
That's always good.
It was described to me that there's a bullet parrying in this game where if you're constantly moving and still shooting and taking out enemies, your speed slightly increases, which makes people want to really chase like max speed. I played this on controller and had a perfectly fine time with it. There's a couple of like tough. To get the diamond, you have to skip this entire section. So shoot this thing from across the map, where it's like, this took me a couple of retries to actually hit, but I feel like the aim assist in this has been kind enough to where I don't feel like I'm ever getting upset about my accuracy.
Yeah, you can even adjust it in the settings on how strong you want the aim assist. You can even turn it off entirely.
It apparently also has gyro, and a lot of the time so far, I haven't encountered a lot of shooting focused stuff that's like precision shooting. A lot of it is like using your tools and stuff that are a bit more like wide, like using a bomb or using your hammer drop where it just does a shockwave. All the levels also have like presents that you're supposed to pick up that are off the beaten path, and if you collect one, the level just ends. And you use those, you go back to the hub and talk to the various NPCs, and you can give them to them, and you get like a anime game style bonding segment where you get to do dialogue like the dipshit character Neon Yellow. It's like, let's dig shit out of the trash. Maybe there's good food in here. You'll get
Yeah,
like
because the conceit of this game is that the neons are sinners who got pulled up from hell to heaven. It's like you're gonna compete in this contest, and whoever wins gets to stay in heaven.
You get to play as Prince.
Yeah.
While they're there, they get treated like shit. So it's like they just feed us this slop. So let's dig out of the garbage can and eat whatever the actual people in heaven left behind, because that's real food.
Yeah, and sometimes as you're bonding, there's a mix of unique dialogue, but also side quests, and it immediately throws you into a completely different level with a different environment, where they're just going for a completely different gimmick, where it's like, it's not metal based. Like one of them was, you're picking up the cards in the air that lets you do a double jump, and you're trying to do that while weaving in between spikes that are on the floor and the ceiling, or ones that are like, you can't use your discard ability. Try and figure out how to navigate this. So far, the level design has been pretty fresh. I just started encountering heads that target lock onto you, that just shoot an insta-kill laser if you're not fast enough. So I started getting into some of that and learning some of the safe spots and stuff. But it's been really fun. They seem to have figured out the right balance of how long these levels need to be.
Yes, they sure did. Because I don't think there's been a single one. There's been one level that was longer than a minute, I think.
Yeah, like so many of these are just finish in under 15 seconds.
And I'm pretty far. I'd say I'm like 60% of the way through the game, because you have a ranking, and every time you get a gold medal, your ranking increases by 1, and you start at rank 100. So I would assume there's around 100 levels.
No way.
Yeah, it's also the thing of like, you're going to, according to the conceit of the story, you'll be there for 10 days, and it's a competition, and there's like 10 or so challenges per chapter per day on this.
Yeah, so I'm about 60% of the way through, and they keep doing new things. It has not
really
run out
exciting.
of steam yet.
That's always important.
Yeah,
And it's not even like one new thing a chapter. It's like 2. Even as late as I am, it's like, no, halfway through we're going to introduce another new mechanic.
Yeah, this seems like incredibly solid. The only negative I could really bring up is I don't think the writing dialogue is the best sometimes. Sometimes it like edges closer to you just wrote bad cringe dialogue occasionally.
Yes,
But
it's fine. Mostly it's fine, but every once in a while they're like, here's a meme that couldn't have been fresh when we wrote it even.
What are you, guacamole? Come on.
But it's kind of fine because all these characters are unbelievably cringe. You have Neon White, the main character, is Steve Bloom, imagine if Spike Spiegel was the most pathetic human being alive. And I say Spike Spiegel specifically because he only got cast as this because of Spike Spiegel. Like, you can play this and be like, oh, they're the biggest Cowboy Bebop fans in the world. But I am stunned at hearing Steve Bloom play this pathetic of a character. because one of the women is like, well, he's like, do I seem kind of do I seem sleazy to you? And the girl's like, yeah, but the good kind. Like if I spat, you'd catch it in your mouth.
And all he does, and he just good dialogue. All right? That's when it really hits.
And he just immediately starts entering like coat mode on being told that, but because he doesn't get mad, he's just like, oh man, that's like almost every one of his scenes is.
That's great. Steve Blum got on so many pathetic men roles. I'm so happy he got this one. It's just but between that and just the other characters you have to deal with like constantly, and I'm willing to be like, okay, you can have some cringe dialogue here. You're an indie game and you're not fucking Borderlands.
Yeah.
You should be jailed. It's like, oh, you put in a bad one 10% of the time instead of Borderlands, where every piece of dialogue makes me want to set myself on fire.
It really feels like they front loaded all that shit, because I got like past the second set of levels and stopped seeing like memes. I feel like they had to include that to not scare people. So then after that, they could break out the deranged dialogue that is almost like Danganronpa dialogue. It's just you sure had a 10-minute conversation about how you'd prefer to be murdered.
Yeah, I feel like nothing.
Wherein everybody bullies Neon White because he's like, well, I'd want to be put down humanely, like in my sleep.
Yeah, it's nothing describes the game more than their official Twitter account saying it's their heavenly anime FPS for freaks, made by freaks.
It tends to work because Kotaku launched that article today that is just, everybody's so fucking horny in the reviews for this.
Yeah. Yeah, even the official account screenshotting reviews, like one of them that says straightest man alive experiences the joys of homoerotic subtext.
Yeah, I say this as a person who keeps our content relatively not horny. We absolutely need more video games that are horny. It is way too Christian in video games. We need to fucking lewd this place up.
This is the most I've ever... Because normally, whenever you play like a Western indie game that has kind of an anime thing going on, you're like rolling the dice and 5 out of 6 sides are 1.
Yes.
But this is the first one that's like firing on the level I want it to fire on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played the first tutorial and went, oh yeah, this is gonna hit my list for game of the year just because of how it feels. Playing it at 144 hertz, only playing shit at 60, it's just, what the hell is this?
Yeah, no, that's why every time a game comes out, me and Bob are like, it would be really great.
Yeah, that's one disappointment was Draynus. It does not have 144 hertz. It's
that's unfortunate.
Maybe they'll be sickos, and when they put this on things that aren't the Switch, they'll give it 120 FPS mode.
You would hope, because the next gen consoles, that's the point.
Because this game isn't like strenuous. It fucking runs on the Switch, so obviously it can't be strenuous.
Right.
I think I don't know what frame rate it runs at on the Switch. I can't imagine this being at 30. I feel like that would just be disgusting.
I could imagine it being 30. Disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, you immediately get it when it's like you're running through this level in the tutorial. It runs amazing, and then I go, wait, when you stand on any part of water, you just go twice as fast. And it's just this really good feeling of, it makes you really think about the levels too. They really designed these levels like masterfully. Of, you can just skip half of it if you know at this angle you can shoot that thing all the way over there.
Multiple members in chat saying it runs at 60. I'm going to assume, because this is how this usually goes, up to 60, but I don't know. Because if it runs up to 60, people will say 60.
Apparently they targeted the Switch initially, which is why it is only on otherwise on PC.
That
plus
helps.
They don't. I'm convinced they don't render the protagonist.
Yeah, no. This thing is a super minimal.
And all the enemies are like really minimalist looking, and it takes place entirely in a budget dimension.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
there's
can't
basically
imagine
no
this being that
textures.
strenuous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The last chapter, which would be the last like 10 levels on that map, apparently is where the Switch starts buckling because they're doing more shit in it.
Mhm.
But apparently it runs mostly fun there. I just don't want to imagine a stick drift with this game.
Oh,
Yeah, that would not be great. Worth noting, since we brought up Switch performance on games that just came out, that you would hope wouldn't have performance problems.
Yeah.
Klonoa had a demo come out.
Oh, did it?
Klonoa, of all things, has frame rate problems on the Switch, apparently.
that makes sense. Everything has frame rate issues on the Switch.
Yeah.
It's a 7-year-old phone.
It's a
Oh.
yeah, it's like a 6 or 7-year-old phone trying to run a game from no, fucking what, 2008 at latest. When was the Wii version?
Around then, but I imagine it's trying to run it at a
Right.
higher resolution.
Right, yeah. And it's probably not even running on that same engine. I bet it's running on something like a Unity or something else. Who knows? But yeah. That's unfortunate. That thing is, of course, coming out on more than just the Switch, though. So
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, thank God.
the demo for both PS5 and Switch is up in Japan.
oh.
So if you have a Japanese account, you can download and check it out. It is indeed running on Unity. Well, that would explain it now running well on the Switch. Unity is very CPU heavy, and the Switch is a mobile APU. Like one of the upgrades of the next Switch is that it will probably have much better CPU. And then it will just be bandwidth limited. Anyway, did you have any other games?
No.
Okay. Any closing comments for Neon White? I didn't want to call that out. Cut that out.
This seems immaculate and like an immaculate indie super game. That's about it. Also, the soundtrack's really good, done by apparently Machine Girl.
I feel like I watched that movie.
Yeah, the soundtrack is really, really good. Machine Girl is an electric band.
Or movie, as Bob is convinced.
Got Chris
Isn't it-
Pratt in it.
Isn't that Machine Gun Girl or something?
It probably
Yeah,
is.
I'm pretty sure. There's Tank Girl. Tank Girl's also a thing.
That's also a separate
That
thing.
is a separate thing.
Now I just have to look it up. I feel like Machine Girl is real and made by people who did Tokyo Gore Police, but maybe I'm totally wrong.
Okay. We will go to Mr. Feel now.
I played Neon White, but we already talked about that. I played Shredder's Revenge, but we already talked about that. I played the Pac-Man Museum because that came out on Game Pass.
Ooh!
Did that come
Well,
out on
there's-
other platforms?
I don't know.
Okay. Anyways, go ahead.
There sure are a lot of dog shit Pac-Man games I wasn't aware of.
No fucking shit. It's funny. The biggest way me and Ian bonded back in the Retroware TV days is we both went, yeah, Namco doesn't know how to make sequels.
Yeah, I'm like, what Pack and Pal? What is this shit with keys and you have to open the little doorways to get fruit?
Yeah,
What the fuck are you talking about? And then there's like 2 versions of that. There's some other version that's like that. And then you play and fucking what is that shit? Pac-Land. Is that the one where you fucking have the fairy in your hat?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That game's believably cruel for a arcade game because it's just like, here's a weird springboard mechanic, execute it perfectly or you die.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like 90 seconds into the game. I tried it 3 times, lost all 3 lives 3 times right there, and I'm like, I quit. I'm done.
Jesus.
But yeah, here's the thing, right? When you think about the best Pac-Man game is Miss Pac-Man, which isn't made by Namco at all. It's made by American bootleggers.
Right.
And then rebranded as an official game. And then their sequels of like Pac-Man 2 and Pac-Land and all these other things keep coming out. And then Pac-Mania comes out. And a number of people, these were like Retroware TV people and other people back in the day, is like, oh, it's like Pac-Man, but you can't see the whole game field, so it's bad. I'm like, shut up. They got it mostly right.
Yeah,
They got one thing that's mostly right. Shut the fuck up.
Pac-Mania I thought was neat because I think being able to jump is a really good addition. I also like what the hell was it called?
Is it the puzzle game with Pac-Man?
No, it's like a arrangement that has a bunch of new mechanics.
Okay.
Where has like boost arrows that shoot you all the way across the screen, and if any ghosts are in the way, they'll get like stunned.
Okay, is that
And it
Championship Edition?
No, it is
Okay.
not Championship Edition. It seems older. I don't know if it got released like something else. I didn't play every game on it because they made the unlocking thing mostly wrong.
Uh,
Because most of the time it's just play this game 2 times, which is fine because they're arcade games. But then you unlock Pack in Time,
Uh-oh.
which is an SNES game, a really easy SNES game. So it's like you just playing it for a second and stopping doesn't count as playing it. You have to get a game over. And I'm like, well, I think that the only thing I haven't unlocked is Pac-Man Championship Edition, which I already own, and I've already played the shit out of. So I don't need to play that again. Wow, most of these are bad. What was wrong with them?
You know how I just sat there and had a conversation about all these different versions of Pac-Man without looking shit up?
yeah.
I've never seen in real life a copy of Pac in Time, and that fucked me up. That he's like, it's a SNES game, and I'm like, the fuck is this?
Here's the thing: it is a bad SNES port of what people tell me decent Amiga game.
Yes, that's what it actually is. It's a
That's a
rebrand.
That's a trap.
I
Good
forgot.
Amiga game. That's
I
an
mean, the
oxymoron.
Amiga game. I've seen footage of it, and the Amiga game looks neat. Certainly better than what they made for the SNES.
Man. I can't believe that a collection of just Pac-Man.
I could believe
it's
it.
So, like, if we just been over, it's mostly horrible.
Dude, they did 2 collections that were please enjoy our bad NES ports of arcade games. And I'm like, why are you doing this?
They did do that.
I
They could
bought
make
it, but then I went,
worthwhile
why
if they
did you
put
do
the
that?
they need to stop fucking around and just do a Pac-Man World collection, because I'd play those. I'd buy that.
Yeah, no, those are neat. Those are neat and super valid. Those games are cool. There were so many bad attempts at Pac-Man early on.
Yeah, I was stunned. It's like, were you just out of ideas? What do you do? What are you doing? What is this shit with locking sections off and having like Pac-Man gets gigantic? And it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. They're literally throwing everything at the wall. They're like, it didn't stick. And I'm like, yeah, that's a keyboard you just threw. That's not pasta.
But the last thing I played, I did single stream playthroughs of the first 2 Monkey Island games, The Secret of Monkey Island and Monkey Island 2, LeChuck's Revenge.
Isn't that the new Pokemon, the pig one? LeChonk?
Yes. He's getting his revenge.
Finally.
Blowing
But in
out
this,
your ass.
he's the ghost pirate LeChuck.
Is he still a pig?
I was going to ask a couple questions.
Digimonda, that was yesterday, so you did miss it.
What platform was this on?
PC, I streamed the special edition, the anniversary edition of there's re-releases that they did. I streamed those.
Okay. You were able to change graphic modes on the game I caught. I think it was the first one.
You can change graphic modes on both. All you have to do is hit a key. But
that's
I didn't
weird.
I didn't switch ever in the first one because in the first game they decided that if you were using the original graphics, you didn't have voice acting.
Yeah, that's stupid. Why?
But in the second game, they figured they were like, okay, that was stupid. So you do have. So I switched back and forth a lot in the second game just to see how it looked.
So here's the weirdest thing about these 2 graphics modes, okay?
Okay.
People who don't know what Secret of Monkey Island is, it's a point-and-click adventure, okay? When he changes the graphics mode, it makes it bigger. I'm staring at his stream layout for like, I don't know, 20 minutes straight. And I'm like, why is this so small on screen? I look away and I look back and the art style has completely changed and everything's scaling smoothly and I'm terrified. I'm just like, what the fuck happened? How did I not notice it looked like this?
Because the original game was 4:3. So when you go into original graphics mode, it scrunches the screen down. And since it was an old point-and-click adventure game, the bottom third of the screen is like your inventory and your commands.
Yeah.
Right.
So it shrinks that down. And when you switch to new graphics mode, which has all that shit hidden in like keybind menus, it just fills the whole screen for once.
Yeah. How was that experience? I assume you've beaten both of those games before,
No,
right?
I had never seen more than like the first hour of Monkey Island 2
Oh wow. Okay.
because I didn't own that one. My uncle owned it, and I saw a bunch of the first hour from that. The Secret of Monkey Island is a really neat game, and then the second half is maybe not as good because you leave the place with all the characters and go hang out in a jungle for 2 hours, which does have a few characters, like the cannibals, who are pretty funny. I'm now convinced that the devs of Battletoads just ripped off the cannibals from Monkey Island because they sound the exact same. Like they're like obviously effeminate,
Mm-hmm.
but they're doing like the same voices and the same jokes.
Oh no.
Like from the new
Except-
Battletoads, then.
Except from the everything in the new Battletoads is bad.
Yeah.
But the whole joke is that they're sounding vaguely effeminate and like, well, I know we're cannibals, but there's so much cholesterol in one of those as they gesture to like Guybrush Threepwood. That game has a lot of funny moments. Like when you get thrown in the water and it's the only place in the game you can die because if you don't solve the puzzle in 10 minutes, you die. Because Guybrush can hold his breath for 10 minutes.
Wow.
So
Impressive,
anyway,
actually.
you get tied to an idol that you were trying to steal by the evil sheriff who Fester Shine Top, who is just a bald guy. And who is actually the villain, the ghost pirate LeChuck in disguise. But he throws you into the water, and so you're at the bottom of the dock. This giant like Maui head idol you're tied to it. You can't get away. All around you are knives and scissors and swords, none of which you can reach because the rope is too short. And you've lost all of your items, so you can't use any of them to help yourself. So the solution is you pick up the idol and then you can leave.
I love point
Wow.
clicks. I love them, Charlie.
That's really good.
The best joke in The Secret of Monkey Island is, and I forgot this thing was even in the game. You try to go somewhere on the first island. It's very early in the game. You run into a bridge troll.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, you can't pass. You need to pay the toll. And you're like, okay, I'll pay the toll. He's like, the toll is something that seems really important, but is ultimately insignificant and gives you no other advice. So you have to give him, which you can get by stealing it from a seagull in like one of their first screens of the game. You have to give him a red fish because it's a red herring.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Just
And
like
then-
that character from A Pup Named Scooby-Doo.
And then you walk past him and he takes off his mask and there is a guy underneath the mask and the guy is George Lucas. And he eats the fish. Like it's just explicitly George Lucas.
All right.
You
This was
should-
this was a LucasArts game.
You
Right.
should rip the sprite art from that game and just put that somewhere on your stream.
Then I played the second game. That game is a lot bigger and a lot more annoying. Part of it is just that it's bigger because the biggest chunk of the game is get these 4 things across these 3 islands. You're not going to know what items go to which one. You're going to have to do a lot of backtracking to get one specific thing. A lot of the puzzles are a lot more. There's no way you could figure this out. Thankfully, the new game has a hint system, which it gives you like 4 increasingly detailed hints when you hit the button. The first one will be like, you need to do this. And then it'll be a slightly more specific, like, figure out how to make this happen. And then it'll be like, maybe you can use this to make this happen. And then if you do it too many times, it's just like, fucking do this. Like, it gets fed up with you.
That's good. I always like stuff like that.
But it also, and the first game did this a little bit also, which is there are segments where you have to be very fast, but it's a point and click adventure game. That's not really in the cards.
No.
In the first game, it was mostly just stuff like you fill a mug with grog and the grog starts melting the mug. So you have to get across town while swapping it with into other mugs so you can burn open a jail cell. And that one's easy. And then there's a section a little bit later on where it's like you have to light the fuse to a cannon, then quickly use a pot on the cannon, which translates into Guybrush putting it on his head and climbing into the cannon.
Okay.
Because that's how you get off the ship onto Monkey Island. And earlier in the game, that's how you get your initial money that you spend on puzzles. Is you have to be a daredevil at a circus, and they're like, "Do you have a helmet?" And you have to show them the pot. And that's how you do that. There's a lot more of those in Monkey Island too, like a lot more.
There was a segment I caught. This was the exact moment I looked away and looked back. What was the name of the lady you framed? Because you just put
I
her
don't remember, like Kate something.
Yes,
like Kate Carmine or something. Yeah, you're wanted. She gives you like a pamphlet earlier on with like her face on it, and you just stick it over a wanted poster with your face on it.
Your face and name. So when the police come up, they're like, "You're that Guybrush Threepwood person." She's like, "What? No, my name's Kate something." And he's like, "That name's ridiculous."
Yeah, and then it mimics the scene where because he arrested you earlier, so he knows what you look like.
My God.
And then later on, you have to go to the mansion where he's standing guard, and he's like, "Shouldn't you be in jail?" And you go, "No, you're thinking of my cousin."
I really like the tone between Kate and him earlier when she gets arrested, because it has a real "I was pulled over by a cop" energy. For me, in my experience at least, of like, no, I'm going to be very calm. She's like, I can go get my documentation on my ship. And he's like, no, you're trying to trick me.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, this is too much.
Am I wrong, or is there a new Monkey's Island announced and coming out?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
It's coming out in October. It is between 2 and 3 because the creator, Ron Gilbert, didn't work on 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Or the Telltale one, which is 5. And I didn't understand why that was happening until I beat 2. And then I'm like, wow, that ending sure is something you would want to follow up on that as I understand 3 and 4 don't at all.
Oh.
But I do intend to play 3 and 4 on stream before the new one comes out, just to have like maybe not the Telltale one, because one that's like so far removed from the original series, and also I'm just gonna say it, like the first 3 or 4 Telltale adventure games are bad. They're like peak no human being can figure this out shit.
On a related note, I noticed something was available for streaming on PlayStation Premium. The Strong Bad games.
That one's solid. I've beaten the Strong Bad one. That one is solid.
Okay, you're gonna bust out the Back to the Future one.
The Back to the Future one is also very solid. I think the Sam and Max one, from what I played, I'm like, I just had to give up. I'm like, I don't want to sit here with a game facts guide open, but I've had to do that for the last 3 puzzles. I quit.
And
it was like an hour of trying on each one. I'm like, I don't know what you want.
Somebody asked me at some point, Phil, if you had any connection or interest in streaming Day of the Tentacle.
Maybe it doesn't. Maybe someday. I am curious because it's so. It's like it was the first adventure game that's like, maybe we shouldn't CBT you. Maybe we shouldn't do the King's Quest thing and soft lock you at the end of the game because you didn't pick up a mouse on the first screen in the first 15 seconds of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, those games sure are made by psychos.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a deep connection to Maniac Mansion and Day of the Tentacle. I will never play those games.
Did you play the NES Maniac Mansion?
Yes, we had that, and I think we also had the PC. Or actually, I had played that at someone else's place. I had the PC version, so I'm used to seeing Maniac Mansion in CGA graphics. Magenta, cyan. There's no world in which I play that on a stream ever. Not a fucking chance. Neither Maniac Mansion nor Day of the Tentacle. But they're neat and they're cool, and I love looking at them.
Yes.
But yeah. Okay. Cool.
Oh yeah, I did look it up. The Machine Girl is a real movie.
Okay. There you go.
I'm glad we're able to close that loop.
When did that come out?
2008.
Okay.
Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah, there
I
we
was
go.
hoping you'd say 1993 or something.
No, I remember when it came out and we were talking about it, and then I've never ever actually seen anything of it, so it just disappeared.
Yeah, I think I only watched the trailer and was like, I've seen their other movies. I don't need to see this one too.
Yeah, I remember that was the conversation.
But yeah, those games are really neat. After my trip, I'm going to go right into streaming AI, the Somnium Files, the Nirvana Initiative.
I hear
'Cause
that's like
coming
Doom
out
Eternal.
tomorrow.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, that is
Yep.
tomorrow. Jesus.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it's coming out. It comes out the day I leave. But that'll be fun.
I did learn one really nice quirk that game did that I'm surprised other games haven't tried.
Hmm.
Apparently, it'll ask you if you played the first game, and if you say no, it will cut parts of the script out that spoil that first game.
What? That's awesome.
Insane.
Yeah, I was reading a review on it, and they're like, "This is nuts."
Wow.
It's really neat.
Yeah.
You know what else is really
I guess
neat?
it's structured in such a crazy way that they can do that.
You know what's structured really well, Dan?
Oh, what's structured really well?
The Podlords.
Oh fuck!
Oh, no.
The Podlords.
Where'd they come from?
Nice Podlords you have there, Dan. Yes, that's right. The Podlords, or the stock image that came with this presentation software.
It's a good stock image. I'd eat that.
Yeah, that looks delicious.
Oh yeah, I'd really eat that. That seems nice.
Yes, Podlords such as starting the Podlord music.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Nice.
Podlords such as E. Lee Broyles, newly certified Prinny Stan,
Hell yeah.
Let's go, dude.
with a taste of your Princess Peach lips, I'm on a ride.
I really hated somebody point. Yeah, I really hated somebody pointing out that Tom Hardy has the same lips as Princess Peach's renders.
Yes.
Red
They showed, like,
Blaze
9
27,
examples.
Breaking Benjamin Shapiro, Suzu Shiro, Emperor Zero. I'm checking that nothing broke. Okay, we're good. Emperor Zero. Shibuya Gato. Remember to watch both Tiger and Bunny Plus KR build before Pride Month ends.
Yeah, I gotta get on Tiger and Bunny. That new season's almost over, I think.
Rado. 101 Shades of Wonderful Remastered. WTF. Spider-Man. Mr. I like Spoinky.
No way.
Me too. Reminder to all my fellow Uchikoshi heads to watch out for Nirvana Initiative spoilers. May your brains expand with each wiki dive.
Yeah. Thumbs up.
DFW 3K.
Oh no, what is it gonna be?
Me when I eat the entire cantaloupe in one bite.
Holy shit.
It's unfortunate, man.
And now people understand why we're live forever.
Shiny Mew.
Girl boss at all costs.
Aggro, who was here earlier to record the other podcast today, he was very entertained. Shiny Mew.
You know, I did research on this, the aggro anecdote about him.
Uh-huh.
He wasn't into it. He was just senile.
Yep. Kristen. I don't have a bit, so smiley face.
Smile.
Can't believe the Gigaboots Toku arc has finally this user was banned for his sins.
Redacted.
Kyle Bjork. BN12. AVGN voice. Summer of gaming, more like summer of ass.
What were they thinking?
What were they thinking?
Ass. Matty Mo. Iron Aggro. Blig da Blue. Schligdus Poo. Monster Hunter. Ryzen and Raiden. Forget my original bit. Sonic Corone is now real.
Oh shit!
That's pretty fucking hype.
Well, this fits with her previous identity, a Mercedes-Benz.
Teeth. Cooper Tank. Activision Blizzard shareholders while re-electing Bobby Kotick for another year.
Well, there's one new piece of news into the flyer.
AG's Bird Facts, now on YouTube. Bird-hipped dinosaurs like the Stegosaurus are not the type of dino that evolved into birds.
Okay.
Huh.
I fucking hate biology.
Yeah.
Agnagnon M.
Oh,
Ah!
no.
No! Gongaka gone wrong!
I bet you guys wish there was another Podlord with an image, but there isn't for a few. Drive Type Cam. His name is Montgomery Mortimer Muddlesworth, and his favorite snack is microwaved egg. Indigo Sykes. Gaijin.
Hey kid, you want some HMs?
What have
Oh.
you done?
Oh.
He's so feral. A raccoon whose return will not be forestalled. He's beautiful. Look at his
Well
hair.
styled.
A real hero.
You got a stylist out here? Step into the mind of a he-ho-sexual.
Oh.
That edit's so good. I was like, is that real for a second?
Zawa zawa, motherfuckers.
Oh no!
Zawa.
Oh no. He's gonna make me do a bad gamble.
Virvarm. Did you know that Torgal is more wolf than dog?
I
Yes,
did.
I did.
Pee-pee-doo-pee-doo-pee-doo-pee-doo-pee.
Why?
What?
I don't
Look at
know
this guy.
what the image
Is that-
has to do with that
Is
song.
that him?
right?
Is that him after he got hit with the cannon bow?
Maybe. Feel like there's too much left of him though.
Is his head caved in slightly, or is his forehead huge? There's so much to wonder with this. Same as it ever was.
Yeah.
$70.
Yep.
The
Already
Superman.
free.
Lane's World 25. Exclusive leaked photo of Gen 5 Pokemon Days.
Oh my god! I can't wait.
This Podlord got me. I was like, did Bob draw that? I don't remember Bob drawing. Wait, what happened? I'm so fucking confused right now.
I haven't secretly posted any of these on Twitter.
I was just flabbergasted.
Bob just does warm-ups.
He's like, I often draw Pokemon over Tails got trolled. Sarlene. Now, you see, this whole gun lance thing, you might be onto something. Pointy and Ram. Thank you very much to our Podlords. Our Podlords. Very cool.
Thank you,
Very
Pod
cool.
Lord.
Thank you, Crop Lords.
Thank you.
Thank you, Podlords!
And if you'd like to become a Podlord, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/gbpodcast. For as little as $5 a month, you get access to many benefits such as early access to Chugging Bleach, our Bleach review podcast where we review all of Bleach, extended armchair dev pitches and gamer premonitions when those shows force us to leave ideas behind, and a patron exclusive show, one per month, where you get to vote on what good or bad thing we have to watch and then talk about. That's patreon.com/gbpodcast. And if you don't have any money, you can always help us immeasurably by telling your friends or hosting us on Twitch if you have a Twitch account. That would also be
Yes.
helpful now that we're doing it live.
Super
And if you don't have any friends, you can go to Melee Island trademarked and decide that you want to become a pirate. But to become a pirate, you have to complete the trials of thievery, swordsmanship, and treasure hunting. But really, all it is you getting suckered into a bunch of tourist scams and losing all your money. That's patreon.com/GB podcast.
Better Melee Island than Malay Island.
I guess, sure.
Look, I don't want to be the one to shed light on her dark soul.
Not ready for that.
That's a lot of commitment. I'm not ready to be that committed, you know?
Huh.
Yeah. News.
Okay.
This is not optional. Some weeks I wish it was because I don't want to talk about the things that keep happening. I got simple stuff. Let's go. Sucker Punch has 2 job listings for an open world stealth game. Technical combat designer and a senior combat designer. They think it's very necessary for you to have played prior Sucker Punch games.
Finally, a Sly Cooper game.
That was my first thought, but I'm like, what am I, stupid? It's Ghost of Tsushima. Why would they make why would Sony not just give Sly Cooper to some other team?
Right.
Yeah, Pixel Opus is allegedly making that right now.
It could be a stealth Infamous game, which would also be very cool if they implemented stuff from Ghost of Tsushima into Infamous.
I want
would be
the next
great.
Infamous game to be like the worst written one yet, just because it would be extra funny.
Literally
Oh, I
impossible. I don't think Sony would let them ship it.
Yeah, like Infamous 2 is
Yeah.
hard to beat.
Yeah,
I
they
know. I
wouldn't.
just like to think about it though.
Yeah, the only way you could top Infamous 2 is if like the choices were like right winger or left winger.
Welcome to New Orleans. The 2 moralities: right winger or a pussy. That's you get to choose. You can be one if you want. We guess you're stupid, but you know.
Stealth armchair death.
No, Dan, it wouldn't be that because it wouldn't be written by the Days Gone guy they fired.
The Days Gone fucking guy who's like, I'm gonna have Deacon say anyone who went to prison deserved to be there.
Bob was like, what was it? You were like, Sony Ben went live playing their own game, like Siphon Filter. They got the platinum within 2 hours or something, and then we just sat there going, now, do you think anyone who worked on Siphon Filter even works there anymore?
Right?
I don't know.
We do have news about the Siphon Filter guy this week.
What? Okay, well, I guess we'll go to that. Wasn't the original plan, but what's up, Bob?
Okay. John Garvin,
Yeah, that's his name.
creator of Days Gone Siphon Filter, is working on a new IP called Ashfall. He did a big announcement thing for it.
You ever hear an announcement that technically has no red flags, but also has the largest fucking red flag possible?
Don't worry.
Oh, no!
There aren't just red flags from that.
Okay.
What?
He's working with a new company called Lissos.
What?
This company is all about Web3, the blockchain, and is selling NFTs on their site. The guy who made this company,
Uh-huh.
Michael Mumbauer, the guy responsible for the Last of Us remake happening.
What?
We have like the Wonder Team of fuck-ups!
Yeah, it's going to be one of those multimedia launches where they got a comic book in the works. They imply there's a TV show. There's no way that's happening.
I'm so excited.
God,
Before-
our spoiler cast is gonna rip ass.
Before now, I was like, I don't know. I think I won't. But you're like, it's multimedia. They're fucking up in the biggest way possible. I'm like, I'm all in.
Why is this so like there is no clearer pattern in the gaming industry than I got fired from like I got fired or quote unquote left an big established company. Time to not just make a game. I have to have a movie and a comic and a TV show. Why is that all of them?
I don't know.
They're convinced.
This is the most dire set of news ever, and the joy on Dan's face was beautiful. People were begging Dan to have a pog emote.
I'm just listening
Like, there was-
fucking like the only way this could get better is if they're like, this is also God, what do they keep calling the VR future? Like
Metaverse.
Metaverse.
the
Yeah,
metaverse.
metaverse.
Yeah, this is also the metaverse.
I was expecting to read that in there, but Web3 is already there, which some
Web3,
people are.
We're past
Using
Web
that.
3. Like people don't even say that anymore, except for like metaverse is also that, we promise.
Yeah, because it's the same sort of crazies. So yeah, it's still
That's-
alive in their minds.
Good fucking lord, this game is not going to come out. But if it does, I'm there fucking day one to just be like, oh boy. Oh
You're
boy.
You're like, my $70 is ready.
$70. Oh boy. Then I hand it to them.
God, the only way this could be more dire is if Keiji Inafune was somehow involved.
Right? Well, maybe we'll get some multimedia project that brings him in.
Keiji Inafune is like, I got someone to draw a manga.
I guess I can talk about what this game is allegedly going to be, but all they showed is a teaser trailer.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
It's obviously not in-game graphics at all.
Of course not. This
Okay.
isn't going to come out. Let's go.
It's at like 100 years in the future. Climate change has ruined the world, and there's now freak incidents happening, and they don't know
Freak?
why.
Wait a
Freak,
second.
huh?
The incidents are freaky, huh?
Well, it's like weather anomaly stuff, not freakers.
But what if the freakers
okay.
control the weather?
Oh no!
What about breakers?
Yeah. What?
They also talk about how this will be a game that never ends.
Yeah, because they'll never start.
Yeah, I know.
Fucking a game that never ends. What the?
And how it's been a dream of this Michael Bowers to make a game like that forever. For people unclear, that's the guy who left Sony Visual Production, or sorry, PlayStation Visual Arts.
Let me do the recap.
Okay.
Because I love this story.
It is
it's
the
really
worst.
Here's the story of The Last of Us Part 1. Which is what they're calling the remake of The Last of Us. Sony Visual Arts Group is a studio that started to support Sony's bigger games with cutscenes, starting all the way back at Resistance 2. They do this for a decade, longer even. And then somebody at the Sony Visual Arts Group, this Mumbauer guy, goes, hey, we need to do like TV shows with the assets we do for the cutscenes, and then that would be cool. And Sony goes, no. And then he goes, well, the studio's really capable. We can make our own game. We would love to make a game. And then they're like, no. And they're like, we would love to remake a game. And they're like, okay, which one? And they're like, Uncharted 1. And they go, no, that's too much work. And they go, okay, how about that game that only came out like fucking 7 years ago at the time of this game being relit? And they're like, oh yeah, that's brilliant. Do it. So then, as that project, The Last of Us Remake, is being taken over by Naughty Dog now, Sony Visual Arts Group guy, Mumbauer, leaves. The ultimate product of, you just did it because it was easy. No one actually cares. How did this happen?
Yeah.
That is amazing that man's team, they're the fucking Wonder Twins.
Yeah, I think
they're just like, Pshow!
I was reading other articles about this guy. Apparently, he started another company before this and just left.
Yeah. Yeah, because when you told me he was there, I was like, that seems wrong. I thought he was somewhere else.
Yeah, it's like it's something. That's No Moon Productions or something. Yeah, he started that, and then it's like he just left months ago.
What the fuck?
Yeah, back in February.
What do you mean
You know who caused this? You know who caused this?
David Jaffe.
David Jaffe. He had them both on his podcast.
He did
I'm
retweet
losing
this
my
stuff.
mind. I'm pretty sure like some Chinese company, I forget which, gave that No Moon a lot of money. So I assumed anyone there was planted.
I guess not.
God.
But yeah, this was the most nightmare story I could imagine. I just saw it tweeted out because I'm following John Garvin on Twitter.
Yeah.
And I don't think this is even getting much like leverage because I did not see a lot of retweets on any of
coverage?
this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they have an article IGN. I don't know if they have anything else.
There you go. You came here for the hot exclusive.
Yup.
A thing that's on
real
Twitter.
news.
The real. I mean, to be fair, my Earth was shaken.
I mean, people
Yes,
don't.
I know. People have clipped you reacting to this news.
People don't know the story behind these people. They don't.
No.
Absolutely
They're
not.
just like, whatever, that guy worked on Siphon Filter.
Yeah, that guy over in Siphon Filters, this guy's a guy who worked on a lot of PlayStation cutscenes. Cool. No, not cool.
He must have left Sony. He totally
Not at
wasn't
all.
fired for being a lunatic. I think when you have to say, yeah, I left the company because HR kept having to talk to me about screaming at people.
Good thing about this, John Garvin got some new photos taken. Very funny, like,
Professional.
yeah, professional looking photos. He says he's trying to look like a Scottish gangster.
Cool. Great. Why wouldn't you want a game made by this man?
I don't know.
Maybe he should be the thumbnail of this episode.
I'm gonna be cruel. I'm looking at John Garvin's Twitter picture,
Yes.
Uh-huh.
and all I can think of is that he would fit in perfectly on top of a Guardian article about how trans people don't deserve rights. That is what he looks like in that image.
Oh,
I'm gonna try to find John Garvin's Twitter accounts that way. I'll know it's him because he'll say Bob also follows. Let's see. Oh, yeah, there it is. Followed by Bob and David Jaffe, the man who undoubtedly caused this to happen.
Yes.
I thought this was a fake image. I genuinely thought this was a 3D model because it doesn't look real.
I mean, they're clearly edited together.
Their icon, their avatar?
Them together. 1 second. Let me get this on screen. I can't. Power couple. There we go.
Oh my god.
.jpg. This is an amazing image. This should not be real, and yet it is. Like, it just... This is... Does that look to anyone like cool company photo for you and your friend who announced your next major definitely gonna ship game? I don't know.
Okay.
It's hard for me to imagine an image that just screams scam harder.
Something about the John Garvin is holding his arms as straight as he can by his sides, but they're also only barely extending past his pocket, and he has this huge suit on, but it's not buttoned all the way. There's so many layers to this.
It looks like he's sucking it in.
Yeah, maybe that's a part of why this just looks so bizarre. Like, it's this... I don't know. This looks like a fan edit. There's something unreal about this to me.
Yeah,
Maybe because I've seen John Garvin.
It immediately reminded me of that horrible image for the Dark Universe,
Yes.
which I'll put into I'll put it in here, where I'm like, are they in the same room? The Dark Universe one, they're definitely not.
No, of course not.
People watch the shadows and it just doesn't match up, and it has that same energy of no, that shit ain't taking off. You're not even getting a mummy.
Well, thank you Bob, for the really great news.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
That came out
I
of
love gaming.
I knew nothing about this. This is yeah, here's John Garvin in a normal photo that looks like he's on planet Earth with other humans. For anyone who's curious how that might look, because it looks nothing like that last thing.
He's giving me a weird look.
Yeah, he's John Garvin. I'm not even kidding. Like, go watch the behind the scenes for Days Gone and E3 interviews. He has an intensity to like him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that floored me. In no world was I expecting
No one should expect this.
blockchain powered double team up between Mumbauer and Garvin. David Jaffe is the matchmaker in AAA disaster.
Man, he really is evil Hitch.
Evil hit. Yeah, if this ships, hold me to it. I'll play it.
Yep. Of
I
course.
think
Day
we can't
one.
finish it because it's never ending. But yeah,
Right, yeah, that's
absolutely.
unfortunate.
You'll play 80 hours and that'll be enough.
I feel like it may be enough long before 80 hours, but we'll have to see.
Maybe 5.
Depends how many comics you read, so you can get the tokens that'll work in the game or whatever it's going to.
You scan the comics QR codes with your phone to hook into the blockchain.
Buy your NFT hat.
Yeah.
Cookie
then-
Mama's there.
And then wear it into the 4 missions we successfully made.
It's just like Anthem. One of them is in a Dragon Age castle.
Bob had this like right there in the middle of the news. I didn't even notice it.
Was
Oh
hidden.
yeah, I've tried not to read too deeply into anybody's news so I can get flashbanged.
That's amazing. Amazing. Okay, Bob, do you want to cover other...
Yeah, I can do my other news articles, sure.
Your other news.
Hyenas was announced. This is a new PvEVP.
PvEVP. You got to say it like Nico.
No!
Yeah!
PvEVP. There you go.
Yep, there it is. FPS by Creative Assembly. Those are the guys who did Total War and Alien Isolation. So Alien Isolation is like the only other first-person thing they've done.
Mm-hmm.
This is now a big multiplayer FPS. Published by Sega.
Because they own Creative Assembly.
Oh, yeah, I forgot they own them. I know they always work with them, but
Yeah.
yeah, I guess they are just owned.
Own.
So this is about Stealing Sonic paraphernalia from Mars billionaires?
It sounds like he's
What?
making that up, but no, you're stealing
What?
Sonic the Hedgehog paraphernalia
What?
to own the billionaires.
Yes.
Okay, now I feel like we're getting dangerously close to Bob being able to make up news. And I'm willing to buy it every time, and that's dangerous.
Look,
The
Casey,
next-
this game has it seamlessly switches between regular combat and zero G combat.
Yeah. Oh, that's one moment. Let me write that down. What was the name of your game again?
It's Hyenas.
Okay, great. What genre would you say your game is?
So many.
Okay, we're gonna move on to
Grade.
Feel. Now, Feel, your pitch involved giant asses. I'm all ears.
They clap.
So you don't have to. Bob,
Okay, so this is 3 teams of 5 people trying to steal this merchandise from various big IPs like Sonic the Hedgehog, and not get caught by security clones. Alpha signups are up now. I signed up for the alpha. Hopefully, I get in. I'll let all of you know about Hyenas.
too bad there wasn't an alpha for, the John Garvin game.
Yes, obviously, because
I'd
that's
love to sign up for
Oh
that.
man.
Get an email in 4 years. Like, what?
they also they just released the CG trailer. I have no idea what this game is actually going to look like.
Yeah.
But in that CG trailer, they show using stuff like guns that shoot out foam paste that can like make structures to walk on and cover people and to get them stuck to walls and stuff. I was like, that could be cool.
That exists in a game already, and I'm trying to remember. Is it the Gunk?
Oh god, the gunk.
Yeah, remember the Gunk? That came out.
Yeah, that was last year. That was one of the big Xbox games.
Yeah. Also, Prey 2016 has it. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, chat.
Okay.
Yeah, I know it's like a concept for something in generally in like space
Sci-fi, yeah. Yeah.
because you need that sort of thing to block holes.
Yeah. Kind of helpful to not get sucked into the vacuum of space.
Other things I got here.
Uh-huh.
Xenoblade 3 had their Nintendo Direct.
That is true.
They did.
They went over how the class system worked, which I thought was really cool. You can
Oh,
change.
yeah.
Every character can be any class, so they all start with their own standard class, but they can switch on the fly. And then you get hero characters who like you don't control and aren't directly part of your party, but hang out, and you can get a class from them. Like they have their own special
Oh.
class, and you get to learn it from them.
That's cool.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, that's really neat. They also announced their expansion pass,
Mm-hmm.
which is a whole year worth of stuff.
Mm.
Yep.
At launch, all you get is new color variants and like helpful items. They actually put that in quotation marks. Then on
Yep.
December 31st, you get a challenge battle. I'm not sure what that is. New heroes, which are those characters I just talked about.
Yeah.
Get you extra classes. New quests and new outfits. Then April 30th, 2023, it's just more of that. And then December 31st of 2023. So all the way at the end of next year.
What is that? 17 months after launch? Thereabout. Okay.
You get a new story scenario,
Cool.
which I guess that's probably around the same pacing as that new continent seeing or whatever it's called from Xenoblade 2, right?
Yeah,
They sold that.
yeah.
They sold that separate too.
Yeah,
it was
but,
like
but if
20,
you had
30
the
hours
expansion
long.
pass, you could just play it from the thing. Their last one of those was basically a 25-hour JRPG.
Yeah, so
It was just
I
an
assume it'll
entire
be
prequel game.
probably be that again or something
I'm
similar.
I'm guessing some of the challenge battle stuff will just do cameo stuff because the key art for this is just all 3 main character swords.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they'll just pop in Shulk, and they even had Xenoblade Chronicles X woman Elma in the Xenoblade 2 DLC, so I could see them pulling something like that.
I wonder if you could learn
Um,
the class of Cosmos. I mean, do you become a cyborg at that point? How does that work?
That I'll take that. I like that the class switching makes it so they show it by having the main guy and the main girl swap outfits. So she's wearing the red jacket because he's the sword fighter that uses that jacket.
Yeah, and they
Yeah,
also said,
it looks like the jackets contain your power.
Yes.
yeah, they also have a feature so you do not change your appearance when you change classes, which is always nice. In case you're like,
yeah.
I don't like the way this outfit looks. I don't want to have to deal with that.
The most
Yeah,
powerful
or-
class in this game doesn't have an ass on the pants. Get used to it.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
And my last piece of news, Yuchi Naka on Twitter today just said that Michael Jackson worked on Sonic 3's soundtrack and then started acting like people are misunderstanding what he said because he's using auto-translate. But it's like, there's almost nothing else you could say here.
It's like, dude, Brad Buxter confirmed this a month ago in multiple videos.
Right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We found this out.
Yeah. It's basically been figured out completely.
Guys, you can't not have ported Sonic 3 for so many years without us realizing something was up. And then we also found out at the same time that Michael Jackson made that music. Also, do you think I'm fucking deaf? Do you think I'm stupid? Do you think I have bad taste in music? Because no, I have excellent taste. Of course I listen to Michael Jackson. Of course I can figure out Stranger in Moscow is the credits. Use your fucking ears.
That's going to be... Not having that's going to be so bad.
Oh, that stream tomorrow is going to be fucking brutal when it ends with, here's this fucked up nightmare dimension of shit you should recognize.
Yeah, every song that... Because we listened to some of them. Every time, like, you boot up the Ice Cap, I was like, this sucks.
Yeah, instead of it being
just
Hard
sucks.
Times by the Jetsons, it's like, boo, 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 doo, doo, boo, boo, doo, doo. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Yes!
Yeah.
They also have the Carnival Night Zone song that had to be redone, and this week, Savage Regime, an absolutely amazing chiptune artist who does like some of the best Genesis music you've ever heard, did Legally Distinct Carnival Night Zone, which, in my opinion, is better than the song they put in here. And all it is we're using the same instruments and sounds, but we have different melodies to go in here that are similar to those melodies. And it's fucking hilarious. People should listen to that.
So I was looking at because someone mentioned it. The developer at Headcanon Stealth put out a thread about Sonic Origins and said we were making all of these games separately, and the integration into Origins on Sega's side just introduced new insane bugs. So it's a mix of shit where they turned it in and it became worse.
Yeah, that makes sense given some of the glitches we've seen and the fact it's running on the Hedgehog engine. So they're running that engine on top of the Hedgehog engine.
Again,
which
Sega.
is weird. And did I mention this earlier in the stream that leaked a bunch of stuff about Frontiers?
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yes, okay, I did, yeah.
Man,
It's
they
a
have
mess,
an easy win, absolutely easiest win ever made, and they've managed to somehow screw it up. That's Sega's motif.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
They even said this is kind of an unprofessional thing of trying to even explain it and might, make it so we don't end up making more stuff or even updating Origins, but people are getting pissed and it wasn't our fault, essentially.
Yeah, in his exact position, no disrespect to Stealth, he should still shut the fuck up and deal with it because
of course.
There's a chance they don't fix it now because he's outed them. They're a Japanese corporation. They're insane. They're the people, if you recall, who are like, Peter Moore, you're clearly making up that America thinks we're lame.
Yeah, it's really insane how the most consistent thing in all of Sega's history is being like, we're insecure when any American touches any of our shit and we have to destroy ourselves immediately as soon as that happens.
Yeah, so I'm worried now that
Like,
maybe...
There's legitimately no reason Sega should have even been involved in the production end of this collection, if you ask me.
Yeah, absolutely
well,
not.
Yeah, because like their input, their whole contribution is, here's this island you can zoom in on that we had to put on a spreadsheet as a feature that you could move the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so weird. So weird.
I don't need. Just port the games. That's it.
Also pay the Michael Jackson estate whatever they need to get the actual music in there because Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, just do it.
This isn't even a matter of this is the song I remember. Those new songs are not as good. They are not. The multiplayer songs for Sonic 3 are better.
Yeah, the fact that they are apparently the prototypes from the PC port is what my understanding was.
Yes, because those were the original songs that were going to go there in case the Michael Jackson thing didn't play out.
Right, so they were never actually finished.
Well,
Like,
they
that's what it seems
retuned it slightly for the new collection, I hear. But yeah, the whole...
Jun Sonoy took those songs and built up based on those because this is the only thing they could use. And I listened, and as someone who doesn't care that much about 2D Sonic, that sounds bad.
Yeah,
holy shit.
Those are not great songs. They were in the beta for Sonic 3. Like, I forget how many months before launch. It was like 6 or 3 or something. So you can tell they were always intended to go there in case Michael Jackson's estate, like that crew, didn't come through and deliver a song. And by Michael Jackson's crew, apparently, according to Brad Buxter, I mean just Brad Buxter. Because he was just
who
told
was
to make that
relegated to
shit.
just doing that.
Which is funny as hell.
It is.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. Those songs are some like the Ice Cap Zone's my favorite song in Sonic 3. So even on top of that song that they have there now is tonally completely different and bad, which are two separate things. Yeah, like tonally awful for the level and also not a great song. It is also replacing one of my favorite songs from Sonic 3. The other one, of course, as anyone should be able to fucking figure out.
I wonder.
Hydro City.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, space in the middle on Origins.
There is a space. Even on that collection, there happens to be a space between those words. And I'll concede.
Yeah, that's
it's
just
a city.
Fucking funny.
There's like houses, I assume.
It is clearly an underwater metropolis of some sort.
Yeah,
but
you're correct. I think Hydrocity has a better mouthfeel, but you're correct, and that should be all that matters in this world. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
but yeah, they should do that. Let's move over to other upsetting news. Feel.
Oh God.
Okay. I'll just go because they're all kind of upsetting. The Quarry and High on Life were Stadia's leftovers. Those were both supposed to be a Stadia exclusive games initially that Stadia just threw out once they decided this is already dead, but we're not going to tell you for real for 3 more years. But we're not doing anything with Stadia anymore. It's dead now.
This is a feel good story. I don't know what you're talking about.
yeah, I know. This was really, really great. I could kind of see it even playing the Quarry, where the QuickTime events are a circle appears, and then it's going to slowly move in the direction they want you to tilt the stick. And I'm like, you slid that down a little bit more, and that's probably how it worked on Stadia when they were making it.
I'm glad those things escaped. I'm glad they got funded enough from Google's stupid fucking initiative into gaming.
So Aspyr released Knights of the Old Republic 2 on Switch recently.
Cool.
That game, let me check real quick.
Okay.
I need to check the Metacritic score on Switch.
Yeah.
Oh. Hopefully it's something like an 85 or something. I heard that game's pretty good.
It's currently a 79.
Okay.
You can't beat that game. There is a game-breaking bug that makes it crash 100% of the time on a cutscene. Almost no review mentions this. It's a decent way into the game. It's maybe 10 hours. Like
that's it.
It's a BioWare type game where it's like you can go to any of these 4 places, and it's in one of those places where the cutscene is.
Oh, I thought it was like near the end of the game, man. This is making this look a lot worse.
You cannot beat it. They've addressed this, and like we're trying to fix it. This is apparently a bug that can happen sometimes on the PC version, but happens 100% of the time on the Switch version.
The fact that it's 100% of the time and not like when those Kingdom Hearts ports came out, occasionally if you tried to click save, it would hard crash the entire game. And it was like, that was a freak accident. This just being, no matter what.
Yeah, I guess none of the reviewers actually played the Switch version. Or if they did.
Or they just didn't finish it.
Right.
So yeah,
that sucks.
That's infuriating.
Yeah.
And now is possibly time for the worst news of any big think dimension ever. We will probably never have worse news than this.
Probably not.
Vicarious Visions were working on Tony Hawk 3 and 4 remaster, and then Activision killed the project and merged them into Blizzard.
Thus starting the arc of how many times can Dan talk about being in hell and making Bobby Kotick's life worse than hell on Twitter before getting banned.
That news was so dire. When someone told me on stream, I'm like, I need a source on this, and then it's
the source was Tony Hawk.
Yeah, I know, it killed me. It's Tony Hawk saying we were making 3 and 4, and then Activision. I'm like, no.
And you can sort of tell on the person he's talking to. They just have this look of, is he saying this? Is this real? Oh God.
Yeah, that's
So
so
they're like,
dire.
I just broke a fucking gigaton news story.
Infuriating.
Yeah.
Beyond
this
infuriating.
fucking sucks.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Sorry, we need one more team to grind into Overwatch 2.
And then even
they made that fucking Diablo 2 thing, which
Oh,
they
yeah,
didn't start
yeah.
development on because they didn't get put on it until less than a year before release. And I feel like people have already forgotten that even came out.
and
Yeah,
then
because it came out on top of all of their dirty laundry, so no one really wanted to touch it.
also had
Right.
problems. So
Mhm.
I dodged it for months based on that alone. This sounds like a nightmare. Why would I want Diablo 2 where if I lose even a second of internet connectivity, it just kicks me out and I believe it needs to generate a whole new map when I start playing again.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, it had problems. I was not thrilled. I love Diablo 2. The fact I didn't get that collection says a lot, or that remaster says a lot, because it looks neat, but it has so many problems on so many different platforms.
Yeah,
I'm so pissed
we're
at them.
gonna do the dumbest
Yeah.
stream out of that, where I was gonna play for the first time, and you're like, "Why are you paying attention to the story? We're already 4 levels past."
Yeah, I could not be more angry over this.
It feels like it like they really just killed that team for nothing. Because it's like,
Yeah.
now what? They get to grind into Overwatch?
And maybe they're
Like-
working on Diablo 4 because, reminder, basically everyone at the top of Diablo 4 left, or didn't leave, was fired because of allegations.
And then
That just
Diablo
makes it
4 is
more-
coming
that
out
just makes
next
it even
year.
Worse. Yeah, like why'd they even do that fucking remaster? It comes out 18 months apart from Diablo 4.
I don't know. But
And
yeah,
then
it's,
Like,
Diablo
it would make-
Immortals dropped already.
yeah. Yeah, it's so insane.
It's really, it seems just spiteful.
And like, you really need these guys to ship the third Diablo product in less than a 2-year span when they could have been making the only skating game in town. Like, that shit would be out either right now or next year.
Mm-hmm.
Like 100%, if you hadn't fucked this up, they would have done that. Tony Hawk 3 and 4 are amazing games. They're so enjoyable. I seriously cannot stress how angry this makes me. It is so upsetting, and
Yeah,
I would say everything else. Dude, check this out. If fucking Bobby Kotick, he got baptized again, and he was all of his sins were renounced, right? And he's clean, and he gets to go to heaven. But he made this one decision after that point: he would go to fucking hell.
Yes.
It's so infuriating. It truly is.
It was the one positive thing they had going, and it's like, no.
They literally that was the cornerstone of our Activision's really cleaning up their act arc.
Yeah, that and
and
Crash.
4, and then they were like, we killed both of them because we in our fucking investor report we said those did so well it covered losses from Call of Duty being weak. We still killed both of them. Don't worry though, you might be getting some shitty multiplayer Crash thing that I'm convinced is in development hell because they don't know what to do with it. Because it keeps popping up, but we haven't seen it, and they fired so many people surrounding it.
Allegedly, it's been rebranded.
Oh no.
So
that makes
when
sense because it was weird last year. They did that thing they do where they give press a prop or like a gift that's themed after their Crash game, and they gave it to them and revealed nothing.
Yeah, so if we see a battle royale pop out of Activision in the next year or so, that doesn't seem to have a real hook to it, and it makes you wonder what the hell's with this.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I guess we'll also cover the other Activision news. I don't think that was in KZ's docket. No.
Which
Okay.
one's that?
Overwatch 2 is a patch. That came out today.
Yeah.
It's not a new game.
yeah.
When that dropped, you cannot play Overwatch 1.
We knew that.
Yeah,
though.
Initially, what they said was 1 players and 2 players will be able to play together. But now, because this game is switching from 6v6 to 5v5, that's just what you get.
We knew once they made that decision.
Yeah, they just started talking about it today. Like in a very concrete terms of like, no, let me explain.
So is it
You
out
own
today?
Overwatch 2. No.
Okay.
No.
The
that shit's-
phrasing there.
They started talking about it today, was what I said. Like, they're talking about it today in concrete terms of like, no. You don't own Overwatch 1 anymore. It will become 2.
Mm-hmm.
which, you know, a lot of people are justifiably freaking out about. But I'm like, I understand. They're going to fuck this up. They're Blizzard. It's what they do.
Right.
But this is better than having a Destiny 1, Destiny 2 situation.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely won't be able to keep two communities going at once for that game that's dying.
Yeah, in fact, I think the
don't
most
see
likely
why they-
thing is 2 wouldn't take off at all,
Mhm.
and then 1 would
Yeah.
be a slowly decreasing pool of players.
And they're still retaining the maps. If they're like,
right.
here's Overwatch 2, we're making a completely new set of maps.
Mhm.
It's replacing Overwatch 1. We've killed every map.
What are you talking about? They changed the lighting. That's a completely different
Yeah, King's Row during the day, and I'm like, all right, you've ruined that map.
I know! Like, I don't want to sound like a psychopath, but as someone who dumped way too much time into Overwatch, they're like, hey, you're going to do that cowboy route, but it's nighttime. I'm like, I don't want to fucking do that. And they're like, hey, it's King's Row, but it's afternoon. And I'm like, how about you go fuck yourself?
Just me and Dan doing the handshake, because I looked it up on PS4, because PS5 shows you your playtimes now. I have 1,450 hours in Overwatch.
Yeah, I don't want to play those at those times. They artistically look better
It
the
looks
way they are,
wrong.
you idiot. It's literally a daytime level for a desert-looking place.
So KZ, you have more. You have 3 times as much time in Overwatch 1 as it took me to go through the entire story of Final Fantasy 14, which is an MMO and 4 expansions.
Yes.
You need to understand. I basically obsessively played that as one of my main games that I enjoyed for like a year. I think when Brigitte came out is when I finally just lost interest.
Yeah, understandable.
Now, where I was just like, we're just kind of spinning our wheels here. I didn't want to stream it or anything anymore.
And you might be wondering, what if I bought Overwatch? You get clown makeup for Sombra.
You do.
That is literal. For anyone who's listening to this, is a funny joke feel. No.
Yeah. I'm like, ooh, nice bonus. Don't mind if I do.
I don't mind them patching it, but I absolutely see the future where they just fuck this game up because it's you know they're making some big changes, right? They're
Right.
going from 6 to 5.
They fucked it up with each successive patch. So really, it's just another day at the office, I feel like.
Yeah, it's nothing new.
But that's the problem. It should be. There should be a new, blank slate.
It's been the MO of Blizzard for time immemorial to like the new patch came out, we ruined everything.
Oops. YouTube was like, hey, you seem to know of Blizzard stuff. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, you want to know how fucking broken StarCraft 2 is? And I'm like, I mean, sure, I guess. This is just a guy showing all the ways you could break the StarCraft campaign to like no clip out of the map and just walk to the objective. I'm like, this is pretty entertaining. Okay, guys, you the viewers and listeners, but not the co-host, may hear a little of Overwatch music play as I try to boot to see how much time I put in this godforsaken game.
Okay.
That's probably
But,
not a number anyone wants to see.
But while that's happening, hey KZ, you got
Yeah.
some news?
I'll knock out this quickie that we talked about at the start. PlayStation Europe on Twitter just straight up said they're rolling out NTSC options for a majority of classic games on the PS Plus services in Europe, Asia. They listed all the ones that don't have it now, basically. So that's good.
Yeah,
Do you
absolutely.
think- do you
Just
think
because you're
Sony was
European
like-
doesn't mean you want to deal with the legacy of that.
Do you think Sony was like, do you think they didn't expect that people would play these things and then bitch at them for them being bad?
I don't think the people who made these decisions at Sony understand that like any of this. They don't understand that there is a bad version to put out.
Yeah, they didn't understand that is a bad version that no one, even the people in those territories that dealt with PAL, wanted to deal with. Ever.
I like that this happened because it shows Sony, even being as opaque and weird as they are right now, is still able to hear some things.
Yeah.
They're not completely deaf.
Yeah, they're not completely deaf.
They're like, we're launching this brand new service and people are complaining. How do we change it? Upload a different file? Damn. All right.
Wow, that's that easy? Licensing? Okay, fucking do it. I booted up. I'm checking my time. And, Overwatch has this weird thing where they have a main lobby, but it throws you into a random different main lobby.
Yeah.
So I get randomly thrown into the main lobby, and there's text in the bottom left, and they're typing stuff, and I'm trying to find my hours played. 365, by the way, which is a lot for me playing any video game ever.
Right.
And I just see them go, person in chat says, I am filled with fury. And I'm like, I'm guessing they heard the news. Anyways.
Yeah, it was pretty good timing.
Hopefully they nail Overwatch 2.
Yeah, I'll be checking in as it costs me nothing.
Right? Why wouldn't I check in?
Right.
Yeah,
Hell,
I want to see what they did to my boys.
Hell, maybe I get a new GPU by then and can really push this fucking system and be like, I'm gonna need 1,000 frames a second. Jesus. Anyway.
All right. Last piece of news. We got a bunch of Final Fantasy 16 interviews. They all went up at the same time. Bunch of different outlets. I collected all of the main stuff, truncated it the best I could. Let me run through this real quick. It is not open world. They said that would take way too long and would be bad. They said they're going to be going for large zones instead.
Quick challenge. Figure out what a Japanese developer thinks open world means. Impossible.
I'm very curious what large zones is, and if there's another game
I-
they've shipped, they would consider that
Yeah, I know, because
14?
technically 15 is large zones. There's several large
no,
zones.
15 is seamless. You can
No,
go
it's not.
between them without any kind of script. It is on PC.
What? I could have sworn there was starting area, separate zone from main area.
Yeah, but once you get to it,
the
you can
open
drive
world
back and
in,
forth.
the open world in 15 is 3 massive chunks.
But you can go between them without loading screens.
Do you load when you go into a cave in 15? It's been a really long
you
time
wouldn't.
since
There's not a
No.
loading screen, but I'm sure you
Okay.
do. I'm sure there's like a squeeze through or something.
Yeah,
that
you'll
game
get a
does
loading
have
screen
cave squeeze through.
if you fast travel, but you're getting on the road or the highway and you're going
Okay.
through to the next thing. There's no loading screen. I imagine this
Okay.
is gonna do some sort of loading screen type of thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I've always felt is that it's really weird when an open world game is like a seamless open world game tries to portray itself as being like a landmass, obviously significantly larger than what it actually is. Like it honestly bothered me a lot in Horizon Forbidden West, where it's like Las Vegas is here, and then you go like five minutes that way, and you're in San Francisco. And I'm like, no, that completely shatters the illusion of this world. It just breaks it into pieces. It even bothered me a little bit in Death Stranding, how it's like, yeah, that whole secondary is the entire United States.
Yeah, that's funny as hell.
Yeah, it's always weird when they do that. That's
So
why
I would
the
much rather have bigger zones that are different biomes, and your brain can fill in the gaps. Like, obviously, there's a lot of world I'm not going to.
You know what really solves this? They did a long time ago. It's called the mini version of the world map.
No,
I
The
would love for that
overworld
to
map.
come back, but the same people who say that that turn-based combat is bad don't like that.
it doesn't.
Yeah,
It doesn't push the buttons.
Some people are crazy. I have no idea why they hate it, but they do.
All other bullets we have here, it's going to have a rotating cast of AI party members that'll join occasionally, possibly including a dog. They were very sly about it, but people notice there's like some sort of dog paw print perk that your character has, so you might get something off that dog. You'll be able to give them directions in battle, they'll banter, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I hope they said they're AI controlled, which is fine, because if you have like a really robust move set, but I hope it's like God of War 2018 where they have like cooldown moves you can throw, because that would be neat.
Yeah,
If,
I certainly hope
you
so.
can extend your combat with something like that.
15 did in fact have some like cooldowns where you had like a little meter and you could just cash out like 1 bar to make Gladiolus like do a big swing.
Yeah, I'd like it to have things that make me feel like it's a party.
Yeah,
hopefully it's because at least 15 has that.
Yeah, I mean, 15 has that thing. You hit R2 and then you go, "Are you ready?"
Yeah,
and then you go, "Here goes."
It essentially has
Like
that.
it
And
could even
sometimes
be
it
like
misses because that game was made wrong.
Yeah, it was.
Gladiolus will do a fucking spin move and it's like, that shit missed.
No one knows what he meant to do.
fucking Yoshi P must be the most powerful dude in Square Enix history, because those interviews, he basically said, yeah, I've never seen a developer just say about a game their own company made, yeah, that shit wasn't done.
Yeah.
I mean,
didn't put it in. I didn't put it in here because I wanted to like focus on like the stuff that didn't feel like a shot. But he said, as a developer, I have to accept that the reputation of my MMO is that it launched terribly, and the reputation of Final Fantasy 15 is that it had no content.
He basically, his whole point was like, we need to make a Final Fantasy that will have people go, oh, Final Fantasy is cool again.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think everyone at Square, if they could, would just line up to take shots at Tabata.
Yeah, but there's that whole professionalism thing in Japanese companies. So
yeah.
I mean, you hear Iga talk about anything.
Yeah.
I'm like, Iga, you should mulch fucking Konami, and he's like, no, it's fine.
Another thing he said that I thought was real interesting was basically flat out saying, yeah, except for Kingdom Hearts, we were dog shit at action combat. So we've been trying to fix that,
and we've been doing nothing but that for 11 years because we have brain rot.
Yeah, and he's like, that's why we got a guy from DMC5, and they seem to actually be trying, because they got Soleil to do that Valkyrie Elysium, which seems like they understand combat.
I hope they give those motherfuckers money.
Yeah,
and time.
Yeah.
Time probably matters more than money, honestly.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So some of the other stuff we had here. So the Akon, those are the summons in this, are going to have multi-stage battles. We saw that in the trailer. Each is going to have their own unique gameplay styles. They describe one being a 3D shooter, one is going to be a pro wrestling match, etc. And after you defeat them, you basically just unlock all of their abilities and skill trees, which we saw Clive having essentially DMC5 style switching between them, like on the top.
We're like, this is insane. How's this going to work? Like, why haven't they shown it to us? And they don't show it to us at all. All the way up until launch, and we play it. And then it's like, okay, spin the stick. And I'm like, it's fucking Mario Party.
Yeah, I assume these are all going to be incredibly bad mini games that are pretty.
I think it'll be about Mario Party.
I think it'll be something more on the level of like a platinum mini game. But as long as there's a normal boss fight before it, who cares? Make it look fancy.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, you're going to have like a multi-stage thing, because these are supposed to be people that have the summon in them, and then they can turn into it, because they also said that Clive will turn into a summon.
Yeah, the way they describe the Akons and the dominance is literally it's Naruto. Like that's what how they explain it. It's like, yeah, they don't literally quote Naruto, but what they explain is, yeah, it's like the tailed beasts in Naruto, where they're inside a person.
My brain just thought they were new types getting into Gundams.
see, this is cool, because we this is one of his other bullets, but I heard about this too. You get to do the main character across multiple time slices.
Okay, so
it is Naruto.
We get to play Shippuden. Got it.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then Boruto.
Don't spoil the sequel.
Oh my god!
But yeah, they really wanted to have a game span the entire lifetime, so teens, 20s, and 30s, which is exciting, because I imagine we haven't seen the 30s version of him yet.
Oh, I kind of figured that's what the older one was.
I figured that was his 20s.
Yeah, because we've seen younger one and we've seen older one, so there's some third one in between, unless they decided to not show the middle evolution of this Pokemon man.
Right.
Yeah, see, I'm sitting here. I assume that was the 20s one, Bob, because this is Japan.
That's true.
And I expect 30s him to look like Sid from Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Dan, that's not true. Sid from Final Fantasy VII is 29.
I know! I always think about that the one line in Hajime no Ippo where they're like, Ejidate, you should retire. You are ancient. He is 28 years old.
I mean, but that is also a contact sport, so you kind of are.
Yeah,
right. Like that's expected in boxing.
Yeah,
yeah. It just always reminds me of just anime age type stuff or stuff in Japanese media.
I sadly had to talk about Boruto for a second.
Oh my god.
I just randomly decided to read the latest chapter on the Shonen Jump app because I had to read other stuff.
That's
I'm like, this is a different series. They're in they're in like an umbrella lab. There's cyborgs.
What?
People have guns. they're talking about aliens and like curses they put like stand as curses that
I
block
refuse to
people's
perceive this
actions.
franchise.
And I'm like, God, just end your stuff.
One of the only manga things I saw was a panel of an old dude busting out a minigun, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on anymore?
By the way, I realized we actually have an emote of how he looks in his 30s. It's right there. There he is.
That would be pretty good. I really appreciate that.
Applesauce.
Like, you know, Final Fantasy 15 also did a time skip thing. It lasted and the base game, an hour. So I'm excited for a game where their plan is to have you go through an entire character's life is really interesting.
They all put on mustaches and they're like, we're old now. Could you imagine?
Bob, you say that, but the worst one is in the Episode Ignis DLC, where they took the exact same character model for Ravis and put a goatee on him, and it looks so bad. They changed nothing about his design.
I'm trying to remember who Ravis is.
Yeah,
he has white hair. He is supposed to be your Virgil. He does nothing in this game almost.
Oh, him.
Oh,
Oh,
the one
man.
who,
He's
oh
Luna's
yeah,
brother.
he
He was
dies
in
off
Kingsglaive
screen.
and he seethed and cried and shit. It was funny.
And then in the good ending that you get in what is his name?
Ignis'
chef.
DLC.
In Ignis' DLC where
that's
he
what I was
lives.
describing. Yeah.
What
Where he gets the goatee.
what a dog shit moment. Like what a dog shit whole everything Final Fantasy 15 is.
Yeah,
Yep.
What a
it's
complete fucking waste.
It's the funniest shit in the world. My last bullet is him just saying, yeah, of course, it's going to be rated M. You saw that first trailer. Fucking blood gets all over that kid's face as someone gets their head chopped off. There'll be a new trailer in autumn that's going to focus on the story and characters. And they also pointed out this trailer was supposed to come out in March, but those big world events made them just say, no, we're not going to put out our trailer that's mainly about people waging war.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Especially because the way he describes it, he says summons are weapons of mass destruction.
Where the fuck is Advance Wars?
Saying that this is anything
direct next week, Dan. You'll probably see it then.
Pretending that anything in that trailer would make people think of a legitimate war is silly, but okay.
Hey, people who work on stuff like that are very sensitive to the atmosphere.
That's true.
You know,
the trailer they made was not that. But I get it.
Yeah, but Motorstorm Apocalypse is also not the same as a tsunami in Japan.
Yeah.
But it's enough to be like, ooh. And the Days of Ruin, I think, also got canceled in Japan because of events.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the same fucking event for both of those games.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Advance Wars so cursed.
Days of Ruin, again, the only one of those I played.
Hey, what day are you coming out of Advance Wars Days of Ruin? Oh, I'm coming out right next to you, Motorstorm Apocalypse. Why are you holding my hand so tight? No, why are you sinking into the ground?
Stop, my hand hurts.
So that game never came out in Japan.
Right.
Neither of them.
That's insane. Square Enix, I need you to also make Final Fantasy VII Remake Reunion, or Rebirth, also rated M, because I can't deal with this. Someone gets impaled and then ghost smoke comes out of the shit.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
It's not Kingdom Hearts.
Right. These are very different things.
They almost seemed like they were starting to get it, because intermission, a character in that DLC just gets covered and starts bleeding out, which was very weird given the main game.
Right.
There's purple slime.
I don't need gore, but this game is rated teen. Like,
they get
just
slimed.
do teen.
Sephiroth pulls the lever and a bucket of slime gets on them and they're like, ah!
Yeah, you get past that part where you go up to the president's office again, and instead of it just being blood, it was purple goop. And I was like,
or consider Square Enix. Just make it rated M and don't give a fuck. Persona's rated M. It seems to do plenty good.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Please.
yeah, children are still gonna play it. You don't have to worry.
Yeah, American parents don't care at all.
No.
Chris Pratt is going to show his son Rambo Part 1.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, especially when you're 9.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Part 1.
Yeah.
Not part 2.
No.
I saw some slasher flicks when I was 7. It was okay.
Yeah, my mom showed my little sister not Silence of the Lambs. What's the thing where they're all on the island? The kids. They're stranded on the island.
Mm-hmm. Lord of the Flies.
Lord of the
That-
Flies. Lord of the Flies.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
she showed my 8-year-old sister Lord of the Flies movies, and the kid gets crushed by a big rock. Like one of the kids just pushes like a boulder off onto this child, and that scarred her for a little while.
Wow. I mean, here's the
Um,
thing. People don't realize being a kid watching a rated M thing actually isn't that much. Like, for me, I was more scared of the performances and how loud the sound was before the Mortal Kombat movie aired as local performers did shit on stage. That actually impacted me more than anything in any rated R movie ever. Because I was just like, it's so fucking unbelievably loud. My ears, what the fuck? Oh my God, why is the strobe? Like, as a kid, that got me.
Mm-hmm.
But then
Jesus
it's like,
Christ.
yeah, what were they thinking?
Mhm.
But yeah, that's like fucking the kids. You just
Yeah.
assume anything scary is going to get them. And it's like,
Yeah.
no. That horse drowning, though, the fucking never ending story. That's some shit.
Oh my God.
That's some shit.
There was one more thing that I didn't put into the interviews that made me go, thank God. That first trailer for 16 comes out. They were still thinking about putting it on PS4. And then Yoshida said that would have taken an extra year to get these games out and would have ruined the game. He's like, it would have become genuinely worse, so they tapped out shortly after that
Thank
trailer dropped.
God.
That would have
Yeah.
been
God.
that would have been a
Oh.
fantastic new way to fuck up a Final Fantasy, right?
Now all we need. Yeah, Yoshi P looked at Tales of Zestiria and was like, "No, we're not
No.
doing that." Now we need Sony to get their shit together, because if there's a single first-party Sony game after God of War Ragnarok
Right.
that is
Mhm.
also on PS4, they have lost the fucking plot. They listened to morons way too much.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And that's it.
That's the
That's
news.
all we got.
Woo! We made it.
Here's some news. I was watching a thing and Alton Brown talked about how he liked rye, so now it's showing me ads for rye on, like bourbon on Twitter.
Okay.
Thanks, smartphones. Thank
Neat.
you, technology. Anyways, that's it for news. Coming up the next week, Bob and I tomorrow are playing through Sonic 2 through Sonic and 3 and Knuckles, including CD in the middle. We're technically starting the stream on CD.
That's insane. I've never played all the way through CD because
That's cool.
Why would you? Why would anyone?
Yeah, why would you? It has so many levels that are bad.
You get two different versions of a bad level.
Nice. Yeah, they're going to be like hanging this thing over me, this concept of, hey, you need to get all of this stuff. And I'm like, no, I don't. Of course I'm not going to do Sonic 1. I did that in my own private time yesterday and decided no one wanted to see that. And then Phil earlier in Big Thing said, I want to see that. And I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah. And it's the sicko window.
Yep. I just look out the window and I'm like, there's Phil again. That's like our sitcom bit, you know? It's like the Clarissa thing, except for if the neighbor kid had like sicko on his shirt and he's in the window and he's like, yes. Air Twister is out on Apple Arcade. That's the Panzer Dragoon-like thing.
Oh, I knew it was later this month. I kind of lost sight of when that was, though.
That's awesome. Finally, a game to put me to sleep.
Num num.
Aside from that, there's not going to be a Pokemon Days because Bob and I are taking the trip to the new Gigaboots HQ city to scope it out, make sure, there's nothing like obviously a problem there. We're going to check for cave trolls.
Yeah, the Yetis.
Yeah.
Any potential threat.
Yeah.
We're checking that out. So we're going on some sort of weird almost vacation, pretty vacation-y vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the most vacation-like vacation of my entire life.
Yeah.
I want
childhood.
cool pictures. I want you to tweet fucking
I'm gonna-
fields or some shit.
I'm gonna tweet the fucking Cheerwine fountain. Like, what?
Of course.
Of course.
That shit's gonna hit fucking
I
Twitter
don't
the
have to
second I
ask
see.
for that. I will receive it in my feed.
It was really unfortunate that we have to take another break from Pokemon Days because I feel like we took 2 from 4th gen already because we
Yeah.
delayed it a week and then we played 1 and then delayed that a week. I love Pokemon Days. I hate skipping out on Pokemon Days.
Mm-hmm.
But guys, you need to understand this. If we skip Friday, we would also probably have to skip Thursday, which is for now this day we stream Big Thing
Right.
and when we record podcasts. So I had to choose which of these collectives to drop.
Yeah, kill your babies.
Yeah, it was not great, but I'm very excited for that. Very excited to check out that town and judge their game stuff.
That's important.
It is important.
Judge their Taco Bell.
That is on the to-do list. I need to call this bluff of our Taco Bell's fine. I'm like, oh no.
They get orders right all the time.
Yeah, don't you fucking lie to me.
The Niceville Taco Bell's the worst one I've ever experienced in my entire life.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. But the other one was good. The one in Blue Water Bay. But now it's not good either. So it's just like, I give up. I want to lie down.
At least it's still not as bad as the
city.
Niceville one. That one is just hell.
Yeah, it's not as bad as the Niceville one. Like, KZ described to me what they did to his order, and I had problems comprehending it. And
The cup shit?
Yeah, the cup shit.
Yeah, where I ordered beans and rice, which would be in a paper cup with a plastic lid. They didn't have the plastic lid, so what they did is they put it in a paper bag and wrapped it up. So when I pull it out, all of it is hanging in the bag, and there's maybe a third of the contents still in the little bowl.
That's insane.
And at that point, I was like, I'm never ordering here again. I'm just going to move.
I mean,
and that was a little bit after the time Bob went to get our stuff.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, I didn't make the drink because it was hard. Like, that's not an excuse. I paid for the drink.
What do you mean it's hard?
Yeah, Bob was like, I ordered a coffee, and they go, yeah, making the coffee's hard. And then there's an awkward pause.
Okay, thank God it was coffee. I was about to say, it's a button. What else?
Yeah. So...
I fucking hate these.
So yeah, we're gonna check out their Taco Bell to make sure it isn't also a nightmare from it.
Okay, all right.
Run by
You gotta
Pennyworth.
make sure the problem isn't you guys somehow.
Somehow I go, hey, I would like this with chicken, and they go, what? Do you still want your drink?
We'll put beef in there too. You probably want that.
Yeah, I didn't even mention that. So about how the Blue Water Bay one got worse, I told them, hey, replace the beef with chicken. I did it on the app, so there's no like verbal confusion here. They gave me a fucking crunch wrap with beef and chicken, and I was like, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? So anyway, we're gonna do that and go have something like a vacation.
All right.
Vacation shaped,
Right.
So that'll be neat. Aside from that, I think that's it. We'll report back next Thursday on how that went. KZ, what do you got going on?
All right, if you're listening to this at the right now, tomorrow on Friday, I will have done the Toy Story 1 and 2 Death Stream, celebrating that one Buzz Lightyear movie coming out. I'm doing these two old ass platformers, and we're gonna see how they fare. The first one is a war crime, but I played it so much as a child because my parents bought that I can see the machinations. I remember a lot of it until we could reach those last three levels.
I've never made it through that game. I also owned it on Super Nintendo. I'm like, I've never made it through.
I did. I can do pretty well in it, but then you hit Sid's house and things start getting bad. But I'm excited to check out 2 again. They put that on the PS5. So I'm like, sure, I'm going to jump in this. I remember as a kid thinking that was better than most licensed platformers I had played. I will test that thoroughly as someone who plays bad 3D platformers.
I'm very excited. You know, the Toy Story 2, it's in 1440p now. It's high res.
It's in 1440p. I'm going to have it. I'm going to use that native setup. Gonna check it out. It's exciting. First game you play is Woody. Second game is Buzz.
He's just gonna have like a binoculars the whole time, looking at his game in a box.
Oh,
native.
I was thinking 4x3. I'm not doing native where it's just a fucking. It's just a.
Once again,
thumbnail shape.
Somebody drank something where you made it with cough syrup when they made those settings for the PS5's back compat.
Yes. I hope this goes well. I have to say this each time because then that ensures that it's really, really fucking bad. Like the Crash Bandicoot games, negative content is what I would call those. And then by the time we do Big Think, I will play a bunch of AI, the Somnium Files Nirvana Initiative. I'll be streaming that starting next week. Finally tapping in. Very excited.
I'm sorry, customer. You need to set your PS5 to hamburger. You currently have it set to hot dog.
The damage.
Thanks, Jim Ryan. Hey, Phil, what do you got going on?
I'm going on a trip tomorrow. I'll be back the following Sunday, not this Sunday, but the Sunday after that, the 2nd. I'll be back the 2nd of July. And then once I'm back, I will stream AI, the Somnium Files, the Nirvana Initiative. Somewhere in there. I don't know exactly when, but I will start the week I get back.
Mhm.
And hopefully chug that game relatively quickly before somebody accidentally tells me everything that's in it.
Yeah, you got to really be careful. That was one of my favorite games of 2019, so I'm really pumped for the sequel.
Yeah, I definitely have to maybe put on the sub-only mode for those streams.
Oh
so
yeah, I'm
people
100%
Yeah.
turning that on. At any time it's a game I care about and it's new, I'm like, no, sorry guys.
Yeah, especially since I miss. If it was at launch, I might be like, okay, I'll play it fast enough that nobody can spoil anything on it. But it's like, yeah, sorry, you're leaving the day it comes out. Have 10 days of everybody else to beat it.
For anyone who's curious, no, Feel is not also going to the city that is.
We stacked our trip so there would be the smallest amount of disruption to content.
Yeah, that was the reason it's syncing up.
Yeah, that one I think Feels was in the plans for a while.
Yeah, and I was like, well, that was about when we were roughly going to do it.
I have to go visit relatives who are over 90 because there probably won't be another chance.
Well, I hope you enjoy your time. Bob, I don't think anyone's I don't think that anyone has ripped the Hydro City Zone theme from Sonic Origins. That's a real shame. I really wanted to play that song as our outro.
Oh no, is that one also gone?
Yes.
Oh,
or maybe it isn't. Maybe it isn't. Maybe I'm just paranoid. They probably only took Ice Cap, Launch Base, and Carnival Night.
Okay.
Hydro City's fine. I'm paranoid. They took one of my favorite songs. I'm worried they're going to take the other.
It's there. It's just shittier. What?
The audio filtering's bad. I hope it isn't different other than that.
It has to run through that hedgehog engine, which ruins everything.
God, if that probably is. Oh, I don't want it.
We ran
now I just think about what happened. I think about what happened to that Virtua Fighter game and how whatever engine they had ran that through made it awful.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they used the Dragon engine for all of the modern Yakuza games.
Yes, which was really bizarre. But yeah, anyways, luckily they didn't touch Hydro City.
It'd be so funny if it's like all the songs run at 85% speed just because of something the engine did. I don't know.
Anyways, that's it for Big Think this week. See you all next week. Thank you for listening to this episode of Big Think Dimension. Big Think Dimension is only possible because of money. Money is very helpful. You should give us money if you feel like it over at patreon.com/gbpodcast, where you can get new content such as commentary tracks for movies, voting on what movies we watch, armchair devs pitches that didn't make it, and gamer premonitions where we get to say the ones we didn't get to say. That's patreon.com/gbpodcast.
Bark.
Yeah, apparently Hydro City didn't play through part of that, so that's what you get. Bye. This month's Gigaboots videos were brought to you by the continued support of our executive producers, such as Esme, E. Lee Broyles, Star Falcon, Spaceman Spiff, Red Blaze 27, Brendan O'Sullivan, Burning Pepsi Man, Adam Admar, Cooper Tank, and Virmvarm. Thank you very much to our executive producers, and also these gamers. If you want to support Gigaboots so we can continue the content crunch, then head on over to patreon.com/gigaboots today.